You tell me. I'm just asking you to do this, and then we'll move on to your awesome argument. But I think this is fundamentally important to the idea of
Okay,
truth.
I'll play along. Fine. You have a mustache. You look like a man. You have a mustache. You have short hair. There you go. Go with that.
Short hair is
sure.
manly.
No, it's actually not. You're actually proving my point. I think is that this isn't
No.
what makes up being a man. I think you're proving my point.
Short hair is an example of gender identity. I'm choosing whether or not to have short hair to appear more masculine. Having a mustache is a gender conforming specific characteristic that I'm engaging in to project my fucking masculinity. Neither of those things have anything to do with my sex. There are plenty of hairy women who are biological cis women, right? So what are you describing exactly here, Taylor?
You are mixing up
what is the
masculinity
truth?
and man.
What is the No, you are. That's the whole point.
No. Wait, can I ask you one question? I really did let you go down the
We haven't finished this conversation yet.
You're not getting to the point. You're just saying that
I am not only
manhood, which I
not only am I arriving at the point, I am swimming around in my point. The point that you are somehow fucking missing. Can you sum up your point? Yes, I'm happy to. You are still unsure about the concept that separates sex and gender and what that means societally. And
you're right.
your entire I know. And for some reason, like it's not a particularly difficult concept. I think at this point you are doing it willfully. So like to put your entire emphasis on the truth of the matter and what words mean specifically, and then to be this purposefully obtuse about what actual words mean to begin with, I'm not sure that you're trying to understand the argument being made. I think that you are fundamentally reacting emotionally to what you think the idea of right and wrong is.
You're not talking about your argument.
You people.
You're not saying any argument. You're talking about me.
You people. Transphobes. People who are terrified of other people who are not like you.
No. That's incorrect. That's just a straw man of the argument, and you know
it's not.
Can I ask my question now? My question
is not a straw man. That's exactly what the argument is.
It's literally not. And you think
the trans movement is hurting the gay movement for some reason, right? That's your entire argument.
Yeah, I actually do. I think it's not my entire argument, but that's just like an interesting point that I made.
It's a very interesting point that you made. Very unique and interesting point that you made, Taylor. Tell me how Stonewall affected gay rights in America.
No, you're not even. You told me I could ask my question after I played down your
ask
weird
your
line
question.
Of
We're going to
about
Stonewall after this.
Okay, fine. So you see my picture there, right? I have like long hair. You would say I'm feminine, whatever. You see my TikToks. Would you say yes or no that I could identify as a man looking just like that, and you would have to tell me that I'm a man? If like tomorrow I said I was a man, yes or no?
Sure.
Okay, so then your whole spiel about what is a masculine features and what is feminine features just went out the window, because that doesn't matter, does it? Because if self-identification...
Sister, that's your argument. My argument is...
You just told me I could be a man tomorrow.
Yes. Your argument is that your outward-facing gender expression must match your biology. What I'm saying is, however you're identifying...
No, it doesn't.
However you're living is how you are gender identifying. That's my argument. Your argument is confusing yourself right now. It's a little fucking embarrassing, honestly. Yes, it is. If you said to me, I identify as a man, it affects me 0% for me to address you however you want.
Would it make sense? Would it make sense to you if tomorrow I just said I'm a man and I'm going to change nothing about me and I am a man?
It wouldn't matter. Who cares?
So what makes me a man? So what would make me a man then, just because I said it?
How you choose to identify. This is not that difficult.
So then what's this whole... No, it's okay, fine. And so what's this whole spiel about the social norms and performance and genders of performance, and it's how you're if all it takes is self-identification, I have to change literally nothing about me and I can just do exactly what I was doing, look exactly how I look.
That's not what
dress how
trans
I look.
people are.
So
Listen,
it's just
listen,
self-identification. It's just
wait,
you're not giving me a
I'm happy to
definition
explain
of
it to you. I'm happy to explain it to you. When your biology doesn't match your gender identity, that's what people who experience
But
being
you
trans.
realize you gave me, like,
Can you wait for a second? Can you wait for a second? I'm happy to
definition.
explain it if you just shut the fuck up for a second. When
Okay,
you
go
are
ahead.
when you are yeah shut okay when you're experiencing like gender nonconformity, right, and you would seek to like more conform to how you feel, you're not going to like typically go through life continuing to present as feminine as you are. In some instances, people who are completely non-binary, who don't occupy either end of the gender spectrum, are happy to walk around. Crucially, however they are deciding how to move through our fucking universe, it matters to you and I 0%. The issue that you're having is that it should, in theory, matter to Taylor how other people are presenting day to day. And I'm telling you that is an incredibly specifically selfish, narcissistic way to go through life. Having everyone fucking cater to your way of looking through the
Oh,
lens. And
that's
I think
interesting. Catering.
that's fucking dumb. Yeah. Anyway.
I actually think it's dumb to force people to abide by an identity that doesn't make any sense just because you say that it does.
Force who?
But wait. Force everyone to make big pronouns. Say, oh,
Force
you have
who?
to accept me as a
Who
man
is
because
forcing?
I say I'm a man. Oh, don't. Okay, well, I'm not gonna sit here and act like the left doesn't force
Taylor,
people into
what is happening
abiding
in your
by
day-to-day life?
pronouns and-
What is happening in your day-to-day life that trans people are forcing you to do anything?
This is such a grift. This whole we're not
Don't get
doing anything.
oh,
you
we're not
guys
even
just
we don't
go."
run yet. We're not fucking done. I want to talk about how trans people were instrumental. Hang on. Were instrumental in the rise of the fucking social movement of the LGBTQIA, and how you don't fucking know what that is. Tell me what Stonewall
Why
was.
do I what?
Because you
Why
said
does that
because your
matter?
entire
Why does
remember
that matter?
remember Taylor, your entire fucking argument was that trans people are hurting the movement, and I'm telling you that trans people were the beginning of this fucking
I
movement.
didn't say it's hurting the movement. I'm saying just the
Shut up now. Wait. Shut up and wait.
How is the LGBT movement now just completely delegitimized by the addition of the T?
Is that not you being, first of all, fucking like illiterate and not being able to speak English? Is that not you saying trans people are delegitimizing the fucking movement? Is that not what you said, Taylor?
Yes, I did say that.
Okay, great. We're on the same fucking page. Holy shit, it's not a grift. I'm fucking passionate about this. I'm passionate about how people who are ignorant to this and desperately trying to educate you guys about why this is important and like trying to remove your fucking
You're just
fingers from
missing
your
the
ears.
point of the argument.
It's
You're missing
not.
the point.
Tell me why. Tell me what fucking Stonewall is.
You're obfuscating
Tell me that
the
you
whole
don't
point.
know what it
You're
is, and I'm happy.
purposely mis-
Sorry.
you're-
Tell me what
I
Stonewall
live
is.
in the
If you
city
don't,
where it happened, so I know
What was
what
it?
Stonewall is.
What was it?
It's some movement where someone threw a brick and says gay people have rights and whatever. That's not even the point. That the point is not.
sorry, I have to calm down. That is the point. That is the point. It is what sparked the fucking movement. It was when underground communities of gay, lesbian, and trans people were like made to hide in clubs and hide who they were from the general public for being born who they were and being raided by American police. And trans people were on the front lines with gay and lesbian and queer people to fight for the civil rights that we are experiencing in America today. You saying fundamentally, and I'm saying you as a fucking catch-all for all of you people, you saying that the trans people in the little fucking alphabet are fundamentally hurting the movement is this is all that this is, Taylor, and I want you to hear me. All that is a foghorn of like ignorance. All that says to everyone listening to you is I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. Period. You trying to delegitimize the fucking trans movement amongst the larger gay civil rights organization is exactly that. It is a loud signal of how fucking ignorant you are and hurtful and mean a little bit, right?
I guess you're getting very emotional. You're missing again. You're strawmanning the complete point. Is that if you're going to
literally
take
not
away
a straw
the meaning
man.
of sex
It's
and
literally
gender,
the fucking. It was literally your whole point, Taylor. It's not a straw. That's not what a straw man is, Taylor. A straw man would be trying to obfuscate the end. You're saying trans people don't belong in this movement. I'm saying trans people are this movement. Yes.
I said.
How is the LGBT movement now just completely delegitimized by the addition of
All right.
the T? If our
That is what you said.
Okay.
Stop trying to gaslight us.
You just want to do the thing you do, but okay, I'm happy to explain the actual point, but that's not what you want.
Go on, dude.
My actual point is that if you take the ideology of trans movement to its logical end, if you say that sex is essentially meaningless and people can just change their identities on a whim of saying I'm a man and I'm a woman, but that has nothing to do with male female, which has something to do with sex due to genitals and due to sexual attraction, that you are thus taking away the meaning of sexual identity. You being a homosexual or heterosexual means absolutely nothing if you remove sex from the equation.
Are you a part of any of those things?
Does it matter? Can I not?
Yeah.
have
Yes, it
thoughts
does.
on it?
Yes, no, not really. Not in this instance. You can't speak
That's
for
such
these.
a fallacy.
You can't.
Okay,
you
so
don't
I
know
hope
what
you
these
don't have
words are.
a thought on
You
abortion.
don't know.
Do you have
Wait,
a thought on abortion? 'Cause you're not a-
yeah, because I'm involved in abortion too. I got news for you. It's fucking. I do the pregnancy part, right? I do have some thoughts on that. So, like, Jesus Christ. You speaking on behalf of communities who do not align with you at all fundamentally on any of this, right? Not only are you speaking for communities you're not a part of, they don't fucking like you, Taylor. So this entire point is mute. You are so far off into the woods about this.
Mute.
Huh?
It's moot, not mute. My point is not mute. It's
I didn't
moot.
say that.
Just want to. Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
I just wanted to give you
Taylor, I feel like from this glass house, I feel like from that glass house, maybe don't fucking throw those stones, okay?
I think we're just even now on the mispronunciation of words. I don't even really know what you said. You're just saying that I can't have an opinion because I'm not part of the movement, which is
No,
just a
you
fallacy,
can't have
because then
this
you better
opinion.
not have an opinion
You
about
can't have your
literally
dumb
anything.
dick
Okay, you
opinion.
can't.
You can't have this
Okay, that's a
incorrect
good
opinion.
argument.
Yeah, sorry.
That's cool.
If you're look, Taylor,
That's
if my
your argument,
opinion
is that
here,
I can't have
here,
an opinion.
no, you can't have this opinion. If my opinion, Taylor, is that the Earth is flat, right? And I come to you and I say, Taylor, the Earth is flat. Truth matters. Okay, truth matters. The Earth is flat.
You're free to have that opinion, man.
Am I?
Go ahead, have that opinion. You're
So
free
we
to
should
have
just
the
let you
opinion
guys.
that have.
We
I
should just
disagree
let you
with
guys be fucking idiots and just walk around hating people. Is that what we should do?
I don't hate anybody. I don't hate
Except for
anybody.
trans
Who
people.
said I hated anybody?
You are-
Absolutely not. I do not hate anybody.
Your line of reasoning is that trans people shouldn't exist.
That is not my opinion at all.
No? How should they exist then, according to you, Taylor?
I think it's an ideology that doesn't make complete sense, and I actually think that the studies actually show that people with trans identifying, whatever you want to call it, suffer from a lot of mental illness, and that
What
transitioning
studies?
actually does
Let's
not
look
help
up
them
some
at all.
studies,
And
Taylor.
Actually, I can show you. Look up the 2019 biggest data set on transitioning. Look it up. 2019. I think it was done in the UK on the
Quiet, Taylor. 2019 gender affirming studies. Let's just see. Let's just see what cherry picked. Is this the Heritage Foundation? This is what you'd like me to look at?
I can't answer you. I can't look. I'm on my phone right now. I'm happy to look it up on my computer. It probably
Is it from the Heritage Foundation?
but I'm like 90% sure. Yes.
Taylor, I want you to go look up this study. It's on the Flat Earth, okay? It's from the Pizza World Organization, okay? And it confirms 100% my position on what shape our fucking mother Gaia is. The amount of people, shut up. The amount of people, shut the fuck up. The amount of people that detransition is like 0.1%. And a fraction of that percent are people who regret transitioning. The overwhelming majority of people who go through, who live their true identity, report less suicidal ideations, less depression, more happiness, truer fucking self-expression. There is no clearer data set than this. If you need to find the first fucking thing, which is from the Heritage Foundation, to prove your argument, you have fully lost the fucking plot. The first thing that came up, which is nuts. Transitioning procedures don't help mental health, largest data set shows. From 2020, from the Heritage Foundation. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think the Heritage Foundation actually did the study. I think they're just reporting on it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to show you. But can I just let me say this in earnest? Like, actually, I can tell that, and I know everyone on this live cares about trans people. I know you care about trans people, and I am actually saying that if the data is correct, that this does not help mental illness, and that we see a lot of comorbidity in people that do ultimately transition, and that if, yes, I believe that in the short term, people do have self-reported happiness after transition in the short term, but there's a real
Tell me
lack
what the
of
percentage
long-term
is.
data.
Tell
And
me
the
what the
ones that we
percentage is,
do,
Taylor.
And the ones that we do have.
Tell me what the percentage is,
And what
because
I'm
I'm not
saying
going to
is
let
we
I'm not
really
going to let you
care.
fucking sit up here and just spew this like misinformation. Tell me what the percentage of people who detransition is.
I don't have the number exactly.
That's
on that,
so
but what
fucking
I'm telling
interesting.
You is that
You are perfectly happy to come up here and tell us like what a danger this is to people, and like there's the comorbidities of this, and how like all of this stuff, having absolutely no data, no fucking scientific evidence to point to bring this up. I do. Do you know why? It's because we talk to trans people kind of a lot about this. We talk to endless times about this shit. Why don't you know this? If this is your position and you claim to care about this, why is your data so fucked? Why do you think that is?
my data is not. I just showed
It
you the
is.
largest data set that we have.
You keep
And
saying
I
that.
also am telling you that we don't have a lot of long-term data on this because this is a
You keep we have. When was Stonewall? Tell me what year Stonewall was.
You keep muting me. You keep
Yeah, I
asking
know.
me questions after you're muting
No,
me.
I don't
You know
keep.
that?
I don't keep muting you. I keep muting you and then asking questions because you're just doing this. Tell me what year
But then
Stonewall
you're
was.
not unmuting me.
Tell me what year Stonewall was.
like late 60s, early 70s, late 60s. I'm
How
not sure.
long term of data do you need?
That's not. When did
Is
we
it-
start doing
is
a
it 50 years?
proliferation of transgender surgeries and ideology?
Should it be 50 years? What is the
and we
length
don't
that you
have
need?
it. We don't have that.
What is the length that you need, Taylor?
We do not have the data.
How? Give me the length.
New medications.
Give
that we're
me the
transitioning
length of
children.
data that you need.
Sure, I'll take 50 years of good data with enough.
Let me ask you a follow-up question. Let me ask you a follow-up question. Are you ready? Vaccines, good or bad?
Good.
Really?
Boom. Bet you didn't see that coming.
Is there an asterisk?
Is there a what?
Is there an asterisk?
No.
No? all vaccines are
No,
good.
I'm fine with vaccines.
Interesting.
I'm sure the ones that I know about.
Would you
sure.
say that aligns with other conservative ideology?
No, I think no, but I think conservatives have actually much larger width of ideas than liberals do. That's been shown.
Cool.
That we have more.
So this
Diversity.
newest vaccine then rushed to like stop a fucking once in a lifetime pandemic. We didn't have a lot of data set on that. That's okay though.
I mean, some people will probably say no. I mean,
I'm asking you.
The point is that I think there's a difference in taking a shot and then going through surgeries that are irreversible, and
Do
especially
you?
with children.
What if these
think
shots
that's
are as harmful as they say?
Then sucks for us. We made an oopsie. I don't know. That's not exactly,
I just want to figure out to what level you are like ideologically inconsistent. I'd say most.
But
If I go through your videos, by the way, Taylor, if I go through your videos and find a fucking Maha video and like talking about nothing about vaccines, your kids are vaccinated.
No, go ahead. Go have fun searching. Nothing like that.
I'm just curious. Okay, I don't really care.
Yep. Backed up. I don't really care about that either. That's the point. And my concern about the ideology that I'm talking about is also it's beyond just the physical aspects. I also think it's just an inconsistent ideology in general, and I think it's harmful to.
How is it inconsistent?
Prop it up.
Let's talk about that.
Oh, it's very
Let's talk about that.
inconsistent. I mean-
let's talk about that. I don't care about that. Let's talk about that. How is it harmful?
I think that it's harmful just in general as just like a general philosophy. I think it's harmful to lie to people. That we can just like start with that. I think it's harmful if someone tells you that there's something they're not. I think it's harmful to validate that because we would never do that
Do you
with
think
any
people
other
are born?
instance.
Do you think that people are born gay?
I think it's no. I think it's more of a nature thing than a nurture. Or sorry, opposite. I think it's more nurture than nature.
You think people are choosing
But
to
maybe.
be gay?
But maybe.
Well, which is it?
I think
sweetheart?
sometimes, yeah. I think
you-
there can be a mix. I think that. Can
I don't
be a
think so.
nuanced Answer.
No,
I do.
no, not really. So hang on.
Why?
So to hear your answer to that, sometimes people are choosing to be gay. Sometimes people are born with it.
Sure.
Sometimes it's maybe.
I went through a stage where I was like gay for like 2 years, and then I stopped. I think that's like my personal experience.
You were
I
choosing-
do a video on that. I've done.
you chose to be attracted to women.
No, I found myself in an environment where it was like very normalized. So I think I just kind of fell into that. But I was feeling attraction towards women. That's not something I guess I chose.
Did you
That just
act
kinda
on it?
Happened. Yeah, but I don't think. Yeah. Yes, I did.
So you're bisexual then?
No, I would not identify that way. I don't really believe in like identifying as the things we're attracted to.
Why
I
are
think
you
we're just,
lying
like,
to
people.
yourself then? Is my question.
I'm not.
You're so
I
concerned
just
about
told you
you are so
very-
concerned about like the truth that we tell each other, and in like that like dictionary like definitionally it is bisexual.
Okay, fine. I guess you can like appeal to whatever.
So
fallacy
like
you
you're
want,
not
just saying, you know,
that's not a fallacy. You're not choosing to. You didn't make a choice to find women attractive. You suddenly found women attractive. That is that. By the way, that is
but
like
why I
most of
did
the
that
most
is
of the
there's many
bi-panic
reasons for
happens
that.
that way. You're suddenly looking at Ryan Gosling and you're like, oh, that guy's pretty hot.
Why does this matter?
because
What's the point?
Because it's the same thought process. First of all, I'm upset that you have this sort of wishy-washy understanding of this because like
Oh, why?
people
Don't be
because
upset.
because it would be like foundational for you to understand how people are trans. It would be like if you can conceptualize the idea that you didn't make a choice to suddenly start liking women, right? If you didn't make a conscious choice to go and be
Well,
attracted to women.
kinda did.
Wait. You kind of didn't though.
I think I did a little bit, and I definitely made a choice to stop.
Do you think that trans people are making a choice to be trans?
I I think that people that think that they're the opposite sex are suffering from many
Why do you
things.
think?
And I
Why do you
that
think,
it's-
Taylor, that someone would go and choose a markedly more difficult path through our universe, where we have people like Taylor and we have people like Candace Owens and we have people who are just absolutely demonizing groups of people? Why would anyone choose to go and live this path of the most resistance that you
Well,
can?
I actually think you just have a false premise here. Like, I actually think the trans ideology right now is very celebrated, and I think that it's actually very encouraged. And that the minute somebody decides
you
to step
encouraging it?
outside of the quote unquote, am I encouraging what?
Are you celebrating it? Are trans
I'm,
people
like,
are trans
I'm
people not
critical.
oh wait, are trans people not the most susceptible for like sexual violence out of all fucking demographics?
That's because a lot of them participate in sex work and jobs that are dangerous. That has nothing to do with like bigots everywhere. There's not just like bigots walking.
You're an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm kind of over this. That's a lie. Most trans people don't participate in sex work. That's fucking psychotic. That is a psychotic thing to say. That is an incorrect, fundamentally
Literally
incorrect
not
thing
what
to
I
say.
said.
You,
That's not what I said.
Taylor, I'm not going to have you fucking sit here and gaslight me and 2,300 other people. You just said most of them work in sex work. We all fucking heard you say that. It's insane for you to say that. It's insane. It is not celebrated. It is like there is violence towards trans people. Fucking like the Bud Light did a commercial and like this woman got death threats endlessly. People were shooting guns at fucking at like and burning pride flag. Well, are you out of your fucking mind? You are demonizing them right now. How is it celebrated? You are conflating, you are conflating celebration and visibility. You, for some reason, you think that like trans people being in the zeitgeist and being represented in our fucking media and on our For You page, you are conflating that with a celebration. And the only thing trans people and people who are supporting them are saying, hey, don't victimize trans people for who they are. And you're saying, nah. You know who has it too easy these days? People who are just trying to live their fucking life. That's what you're doing. And I like that. That is a monstrous conflation that you're making. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, that's just not what I said. Yeah, I mean, I didn't say any of those things. I didn't say anyone should be demonized. I said that a lot of the stats that you're getting, my point was about the sex work is that a lot of the stats you're getting about violence is because of a lot of those stats come from people that are in sex work.
I'm not going to let you fucking lie. That is not the amount of people in sex work does not equal. Go look, Taylor. Go when we're done with this. Go look up the percentage of trans people who are assaulted. It is not because they are in sex work. It is because they are trans. It is not the spaces that they occupy. It is fundamentally because they are a marginalized, targeted community. It is not because they are in danger.
Those stats.
Yeah, we'll all wait and hold our breath for that.
Sure, I'm happy to see those stats. But what I'm also telling you is that I don't believe that validating this identity is actually helping them either. So that's my point. And if you really, really care about trans people, which it sounds like you does, maybe you would consider that.
Based on what?
Well, I tried to give you a study and you wrote it off. So, but
You gave
I
me
agree
you
that
gave me the
there's not a lot
Flat
of
Earth
data on
Society
this
study,
because
yeah, and then that's bullshit. So like what? Yes, you cited a fucking fundamentalist Christian white nationalist organization,
Can
and
I
you
not
said
say
this,
the same?
and then you said these studies support my fucking claim, and I'm saying the whole of the scientific community who studies this topic, gender studies, say the fucking opposite.
can you consider that sources outside of your own sources also have a bias? Can you just like consider that they're
Sources
also
outside
funded
of
by
mine have a bias.
sorry, outside of that. I meant to say outside of that are your sources. Sources that are yours, the ones that you're looking at could potentially also have a bias or ulterior motives. Can you just like consider that concept?
9 out of 10.
I'm fine to not go off of
9 out of 10
because
dentists
it's
agree.
difficult.
Taylor, 9 out of
my
10 dentists agree. No, I'm just giving you, I'm just making this digestible for you. 9 out of 10 dentists agree. If you brush your teeth, you're going to avoid cavities, right? And you come up to me and said, Dr. Jim says, if you chew on some wood, it's going to be fine. And you present that as an equal amount of scientific consensus. I'm going to look at you and say, no. If like 9 of these dentists disagree on what type of toothpaste to use, yeah, sure, we can have that discussion. But they are all fundamentally like saying the same thing, while you are saying something vastly different that doesn't agree with the 99% of the agreed upon science. So what you're suggesting is that the biases is with the biases that we are all referencing, with the overwhelming majority saying that this helps people experiencing gender dysphoria, and you're saying this one fucking study outdoes all of that. I'm going to tell you no, that's not good enough.
It's not
Sorry.
one study. It's a meta-analysis, which means it's actually taking from a large data set and it's looking at a lot of studies. But let me just grant you that you have more studies that show positive. That's fine. I agree with that. It's hard to find data. I do think that there's a large bias in the social sciences
Then
field.
why wouldn't you acknowledge that the overwhelming majority of people who are agreeing about the science of this are factually correct? Why are you then going and finding other data that supports your claim that disagrees with that all that is confirmation bias? That's all that is.
If you
Yes!
I'll answer your question. Great. If you do a genuine look into the study that I showed you, which is actually the largest data set that we have on pre- and post-operative mental health status, if you genuinely read that and you say that it's bunk, fine, no matter where it comes from. I don't even think the Heritage Foundation did it. I think that they're just reporting on it, but fine. But even so, if you look at it and you tell me that it's just like whatever, fine, you can throw that study up, but do not throw that out until you genuinely analyze it. I mean, that's just like lazy intellectual work, because I've looked at all the positive studies and I can come to my own conclusions, but I don't even need the studies to.
Just to reiterate, I don't need the studies. I should have just let you cook on that one. I don't even need the studies. I should have let you fucking finish, because that in itself was gonna just be we're gonna reach its own logical conclusion there. I don't understand how you don't understand how this is confirmation bias. You didn't read the studies. You read the analysis from a white nationalist organization that reported on those studies. We can have endless.
Read the studies?
We can have endless fucking gender doctors in here to come up here and corroborate what I'm saying.
So you're just appealing to authority? That's actually like a big.
So are you, Taylor. Jesus fuck. So are you. So are you, dude. It's unbelievable.
I told you.
That is the funniest fucking thing that you've done all night.
I told you I could debate it without the data. That's what I'm saying. I can debate it. I think the data is important.
You have to debate it without the data, Taylor. You must debate it without the data, because the data doesn't support your argument. The data doesn't support your argument. Therefore, you must argue without the data. Unfortunately for you, the data supports my argument, which is that alleviating the symptoms of gender dysphoria helps people live better lives. Overwhelmingly.
Did you know that like 100 years ago there was Did you know that like 100 years ago there was a lot of data that showed that lobotomies are really good things? I'm just saying that we've had data for all sorts of things for all sorts of spans of time. You don't appeal to authority all the time. You're going to get yourself into some trouble there. It's not effective.
Taylor, do
You
you,
need
think
to
that we
show
should
me that this
repeal
is a
the 19th?
logical stance. Why are you keep changing the subject?
I'm just trying to think to I'm just trying
What's
to
the point
find
of that?
I'm just trying
No,
to find
I do
how
not.
No?
No.
A long time ago, we thought that women shouldn't be able to vote.
Yeah, okay. What's your point? Oh, yes. Long time ago, we had different ideas. Cool point. We had different opinions 100 years ago than we do today. If you're trying to conflate that with what I'm saying about lobotomy,
It's a fucking 1-to-1, dude. It is a 1-to-1.
No, it's not. Of course, it's not. You're actually proving my point that we can have ideas that are bad. So I can that we later realize are bad ideas.
Taylor.
That's literally what I'm saying.
Here's the deal.
You're yet to give me like a logical argument for this ideology that doesn't rely on authority. Instead of just we should be nice or, why do I care? These
Have
aren't
you?
actual arguments.
Have you?
Yes.
What was it?
Well, you mute me every like 5 seconds.
What was it, Taylor? Remind us.
There's no consistent definition of woman or trans woman that you can give me
And
that
why
does
should
not
that matter?
exclude some or most trans women.
And why
because
should that
language
matter?
matters, and this is how we
It
communicate.
doesn't.
Because
it
you
doesn't.
care about these people.
Fundamentally, your
Of course
entire
it
argument
does.
is that language matters, except that you don't. We're coming back full
Language does
circle here.
matter.
You don't know what the terms we're defining are. You don't think
course I
that.
do.
You don't. We did this already. We talked about sex and
What
gender.
don't I understand?
We
you're-
kicked this off with sex and gender. You didn't know the difference. If your entire point, Taylor, is that words matter and you cannot be fucking bothered to learn what those words mean, your argument
No, I
is
know.
bad and
I know
wrong.
what you think they mean.
You don't.
Can I
don't.
offer you
Your argument,
Can
no. Your argument is that words matter and we shouldn't lie to each other. And then when we ask you what those words are, you say, I have no fucking idea. And so like the logical conclusion is you don't actually think that those words matter because you can't be bothered to learn the difference between what we're talking about. And you conflate these two things and then you demonize people just out here trying to live. And then you say, it's not good enough to just be nice. It's not good enough to just let people live how they want to live. And I'm saying it absolutely is. And you don't have a good fucking reason to not do that at all. Because your only reason is words matter, but I don't care what those words are. That's your fundamental
I can
fucking
respond to
argument.
that very succinctly. I can respond to that very succinctly. So 2 things. Number 1, I don't think it's good to just say people should do whatever they want because that's not really how our society functions. And if it was, then we get into all sorts of trouble. And I have many examples of that. Number
If you
2,
conflate, no, shut up. If you conflate like adults making decisions on how to live their life with your toddler, like I'm happy to have you make this argument in front of 2,600 people, and I'm happy to have you look like an absolute fucking psychopath. That's fine. But personally, I don't want you to. I'm not about that. I don't think, and also tacitly, you saying that fundamentally, like, trans people need lobotomies. Same vein, same idea, right? It is just you dismissing the entire argument.
when the hell did I say trans people need lobotomies? What an absolute insane thing to say.
You're saying that they're both similarly bad ideas.
That 2 ideas can be bad is not saying one needs the other. My second point, and just let me get a response from you for this. Are you not conflating gender norms with just like masculinity and femininity? When you say things like, oh, like I'm a man because like whatever. Do you agree that there can be like a masculine woman? That like a woman could be like a masculine woman? Do you agree with that?
Yes. This is our
Oh,
argument.
good. And same. No, it's not, because
Yes,
you would
it is.
say that if a woman is masculine, then
We
they
did this.
are a man.
How do you not
would say
remember
that
this?
a person-
We did this already. We did this entire thing already. I tried to have you give me
I
sex
did.
characteristics and gender characteristics, and you fucking couldn't do that.
What's the difference between a sex characteristic and a gender characteristic?
The first thing we talked about, Taylor. The first thing we talked about.
You're talking about You're talking about things that society.
Tell me what they are. Tell me what they are. We did it already. We did it already. We did it already. I see Eli.
Can I tell you how to be?
Hang on. Tell me what the difference is between sexual characteristics and gender characteristics.
I mean, there is no difference because sex and gender mean the same thing. What I think you're trying to say is that there are norms in a society that we attribute to men and women.
This woman, sorry, Taylor, this woman said 2 seconds ago, it's important to know what words mean. And then she said out of her mouth, the same fucking mouth that said the very idiot thing, she said, sex and gender are the same thing. And there could not be a clearer example, a more fundamental example of how you are not understanding the entire idea. It could not be any fucking clearer than this exact thing. I made a video talking about this exact thing. You were like, he is confusing himself with these two ideas. You don't know that those two things are different things. And I keep asking you to give me just examples of the two different things, and you can't because you don't know what those are. And I told you, which sucks, is because this is an open book test and we already talked about this. These are scientific terms.
No, they're not scientific terms. They literally are terms that have been, taken over by this ideology like 5 seconds ago.
When was the idea of gender established? When would you say? When would you say, Taylor?
I'm not gonna accept the premise in general.
We just came up with these terms. We just came up with these terms. When would you say that the idea of gender was established?
We didn't come up with the terms. I'm telling you that the idea of gender being different from.
No. I'm not. We're not gonna fucking walk away from this. You're not gonna like fucking belch out that shiny nugget and then walk away. When would you say that the idea of gender was established? You said just now, we all heard you, it's new. It's relatively new. You said, give us how relevant and new.
No, the word is not new. The word is not
That's
new.
not what I'm
Stop
saying.
being so disingenuous.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the concept. I said when was the
We
idea of gender
it.
established? When was the idea of gender established? You tell me. 2000 and
I'm not accepting the premise because I do not accept the premise.
when was you said it. You have to accept the premise because you introduced it. You introduced it.
That's my answer. It was 5 seconds ago.
1950.
Up until literally 5 seconds ago.
1950.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's really real and true. That's really real and true. I really believe you. What is... It's not coherent. Put your freaking Google down. You don't need to even Google it. This is just logic. This is logic. It means nothing.
This is psychology.
Okay.
This is psychology and gender studies dating back for 70 fucking years. And the science behind this and the emergence of our understanding of human sexuality and psychology make a dictionary definitionally different terms between sex and gender since the fucking 50s. For you to say this is all new. This woke bullshit that is just discouraged. It's just all that this is doing is illustrating my point, which is you don't have a fucking fundamental grasp on this. You don't have a fundamental grasp on this. And it's a little embarrassing. And all you keep appealing to this amorphous morality that you have. And you cannot define it. You cannot explain why it's bad. And every time you do, there is 9 other reasons why your explanation doesn't fit how you're fucking feeling.
You say it's embarrassing.
Sorry, I'm not done. And the people who are suffering because of your willful ignorance are already marginalized or already having a tough time. And so to defend your delicate fucking little sensibility on this planet, Taylor, and like to defend your protected little piece of being lied to, you are willing to demonize entire groups of people. And I don't fucking like people like you who are not willing to do the most minimal amount of mental fucking work to come to a reasonable conclusion about this. You seem capable, but you're unwilling. And that, I feel like, is worse. We've talked to idiots. We've talked to fucking dummies who could not possibly understand this for a million years. You can, but you are purposefully not doing it for some fucking reason, and I don't get it.
That's so nice. Actually, I was really liberal for a really long time, so I actually was on your side for quite a long time until I just thought about it for like 5 seconds. I actually got my degree from Columbia in psychology, so I am quite educated. So I actually have
Columbia, the
extensive
country?
research on both sides. No, Columbia University. And
You have a degree in psychology. You have a degree in psychology from Columbia University.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And you don't know what sex and gender are.
I do. I just don't agree with your definition of it.
I don't believe you, Taylor.
Okay. Well,
Would you
I'm
like to
happy
prove it
send
to
you a
us?
screenshot of
I
my
would fucking.
degree.
Really?
Yeah.
Send it.
How can I do that?
Send it. Go take a
Okay.
picture. Take a picture.
I don't like. Okay, I have to get it on my computer because I don't have like my physical copies in my garage. But I will be more than
Okay.
happy to get you my degree.
We can wait for you to go in the garage.
Does it matter though? Well, I mean, I'm typing in my computer, but is it really gonna like change your opinion of me? Truly, does it?
It won't
Okay.
change my opinion of you. It will change my opinion of the accredited college of Columbia University. Yeah.
Oh God. Well, I mean, I don't really have a high opinion of them anyway right now, so I probably agree with you. All right. Well, it's gonna take me a minute to log in, but
We'll wait.
can I also just posit while we're doing this that you are mixing up the word gender and just like gender norms and
Not.
femininity and masculinity, and that we
Nope.
can actually.
I'm not. You can't posit that because I'm not. I
We
know
can
that
actually
because I
subvert
know what the
gender
difference
norms. It
is.
would be a lot. We can actually subvert gender norms, and that would be a lot more progressive.
I agree, but that's not what you're arguing.
Okay.
You're arguing that society rigidly conformed to gender norms, and I'm saying, shut the fuck up. That has nothing to do with you. That's what I'm saying. Your argument is not doing that. No. Right?
No, not right.
You're saying, what are you talking about? That is your argument.
Sorry, I was distracted. I didn't really hear the last thing you said. My point is that if I wanted to, let's say tomorrow, look like you, like dress exactly like how you were dressing, but still call myself a woman and say like I am a woman, that doesn't change any
We
like
did
essence
this already.
about me or
Are you
anything.
gonna?
Like,
Are
I
we
can
gonna
just,
go
like,
in this fucking circuitous thing? We went from
No,
the
I'm
thing
telling
I
you how
said.
it's more progressive.
You wouldn't
Because
accept
it is
this.
a lot
You would
more-
not accept this fucking argument. If I said to you, I identify as a woman tomorrow, and you said gender norms are up for debate as long as you're not trans, you would immediately turn around and be like, we're all lying to each other. There's no truth in this. It absolutely goes against your entire fucking thesis statement.
Okay. That's not true, but okay.
It is true.
My point is that
How is it not
my-
true?
my point is that the trans ideology wants to say that embracing femininity essentially like it plus self-identification, I'll give you that, essentially makes you a woman. If I were to say tomorrow that I am a man because I say I'm a man and that I dress like a man, that makes me a man. And I'm saying that those two things are not sufficient or enough or inclusive enough
you.
of the entire trans community.
To you, and I will reiterate. Our world does not revolve around Taylor Fogarty.
Yeah, I agree. And it doesn't revolve around trans people
Where's
either.
this degree,
I can
Taylor?
send
We're
you-
all waiting.
Wait, can I ask? I was going to ask something. I have pictures on my Instagram.
Just turn your camera on. Just
Wait,
turn your
I don't
camera
want to turn my camera on. I look gross. I'm in like my pajamas. I have pictures on my Instagram of me graduating and everything. I don't have like my physical degree. It's in the garage. Do you want to see photos of me in my cap and gown and everything? I can send you that.
Put it on the screen.
It's on my personal Instagram, not my public one, because it's my personal Instagram, so it's private.
Unless you're when you're walking, it has degree of psychology.
Oh well, the diploma doesn't say that either. It just says bachelor's of arts or whatever.
What was your focus?
Psychology. I studied with child development a lot though. So I actually graduated pretty recently in like 2023.
In your studies of child psychology at Columbia University, you are this fuzzy on.
You'd actually be surprised how many idiots go to Ivy Leagues, so don't be too shocked. A lot of dummies there. But yes, I did go to Columbia, and they very much didn't even really talk about gender because, it wasn't even that cool then. It's a lot cooler now, but no, there was no psychology
in 2023.
Correct.
There was no psychology of gender in 2023.
No, there's no I mean, maybe there is now, but also I was studying more like child development at that point, so.
Let's see the degree.
I told you I don't have like the physical array. Wait, let me see if I have
Go get it.
my
Well, hang on. It's in the garage.
It's in my garage. I'm not going digging through my garage right now. It's like freezing. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not going through I told you I can send you a photo of my cap and gown. It's right on my Instagram.
Send it to me. I have Instagram. I just tagged you in that video I just made.
Okay. If I put my phone down, like if I exit TikTok, will it stop?
It'll just
everything?
teacup and we'll just wait.
I'm like. All right, hang on. Wait, let me just make sure I have. I'm actually trying to find my transcripts because I think I emailed them to myself. Oh, Columbia transcripts. There we go. Boom, baby. Now you can see my good grades too. I don't want to like send you all this information though. Hang on. Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, here. Let me do the camera and I'll show you through the camera. Let me turn the camera on again. How do I do that? Oh, wait. Okay.
You're a psychologist.
How do I flip it? Okay, wait. Here we go. Can you see it?
Hit save.
Cool. Wait, can you see it?
No. You have to hit save.
I'm doing it through. Oh, sorry. Hang on. I'm trying to get a good photo where you see everything. Wait, you can't see it's Columbia. Hang on. Oh, wait, there we go.
You're just looking at your face
Columbia
right now,
University.
Taylor.
I know, gross. Hang on.
Nope, we're still not
Wait, I got it. I did it. Did I do it?
Nope.
Sorry, I'm like 100 years old. All right, did I do it?
You graduate. There you go.
Columbia University, City of New York. There's my name. Don't look at my like social security number. Oh my god. Psychology, honors. Look at those A pluses. Boom, A's. Happy? Satisfied?
I am gobsmacked.
Thank you. And look at all these good grades. Man, I haven't looked at this in forever. This was COVID era too. See, the P's are because of COVID. They took away grades.
Did you get a PhD?
No, this is just an undergrad degree. I'm a late in life student. Can I turn my camera off now? I'm afraid I'm gonna share some like personal information by accident. There we go. All right, so. Here we go. Okay, sufficiently satisfied with my proof?
It's more upsetting and an indictment on the fucking education system that you were able to pass with this lack of knowledge.
I told you. There's a lot of dummies. I told you. Don't worry. Maybe you'll think more about my argument now I've earned your intellectual approval.
I don't think so. I just agree with Joe Rogan now.
What does Joe Rogan say?
College is
not
a
a fan.
scam. Because
I more or less agree with that.
I am fucking gobsmacked that you got out of a higher, not only a higher level, but an Ivy League school with like in this particular like specificity, saying delegitimize and having this loose a fucking grasp on gender ideology.
Oh God, give me a break. Give me a break on the
I just don't see how that.
Okay?
I don't see how that tracks.
It tracks.
What are you doing now?
Trust me. I'm on TikTok. You know. Writing.
A Republican grifter, waiting
Debating.
for your OU moment.
Yeah, talking to a liberal grifter. Peas of the same pod.
Damn. What are some other things that don't affect you that you feel like are irking you day to day?
Can I ask you something? Do you have an opinion on like slavery and like if slavery should be legal? Mm-hmm. Yes or no? Just generally.
Yeah.
Does that affect you directly? Are you going to be a slave or own a slave anytime in the near future?
I can describe how that's bad for society. That's exactly what I'm doing. I can articulate the ways and knock-on effects of how like detrimental it is to segregate humans and to like forced slave labor. I can talk about why it's bad for society.
You can talk about it in the abstract.
I can tell. It's not the abstract. It is concrete. We can talk. We can measure the knock-on effects of why abortion should not be limited. You, when asked why you have an opinion about this, you said because truth matters. You haven't given us one single fucking piece of evidence that this negatively affects our society. You don't. Enough. But that's why it's different. I can articulate why that's bad. You have an amorphous idea of why you think that it affects you. And that is, those are diametrically fucking opposed. Those are different things, dude.
I'm never really saying how it affects me. I'm actually talking about society as a whole, and I'm also talking about the trans people themselves. That is my point.
You're not. And not only that, you are giving us statistics over and over again that don't line up with the understanding of like agreed upon science.
My point was just that we can obviously care about and have opinions about things that maybe don't like affect us directly. And you would agree with that also.
But your point is dumb.
That's what you think, sure.
That's what everybody thinks.
I think your point is dumb. Well, everyone in this chat, yes, because they're all your friends. If you came on my channel, everyone would think you're dumb. How does
limiting trans people benefit you?
I'm not limiting anybody. I don't want to limit anybody. I want to tell the truth.
You don't. This is why I fundamentally like don't trust or believe you, is because like you don't have a clear idea of your own argument. And like your like insistence, you don't. Your insistence on being sort of like playfully transphobic and like also like like antagonistic in saying that you actually care about trans people. That's why you don't. Yes, your initial thing was that it's harming the gay community. You don't fundamentally think that gay people are choosing or not choosing, or born with or not born with the innate gayness that they are experiencing. So you don't care about the fucking. I don't think that
matters, though. It doesn't matter.
It absolutely matters. It absolutely matters. You don't have a firm grasp on what you're fucking arguing. Not only do you not have a firm grasp on what you are arguing, you don't know why it's affecting you. You don't know who you're trying to make the argument to benefit, right? It is fundamentally harmful to just a group of people, and you don't seem to care to learn anything, right? That sucks.
No, I mean, that's just a misrepresentation of the argument. I understand your point of view, actually, so I don't really have to.
Taylor, that is, I'm sorry, that is a verbatim, word for word recap of the fucking hour-long conversation that we've had. We've gone in circles. I've explained to you what things are. You've changed why you're upset about this. You've changed from trans people are affecting LGBTQIA representation because it's hurting the movement to actually I care more about trans people than you do. You have no, like, this is like an, on its face, it's a harmful fucking conversation because you don't give a shit about this. You just want to make a point. And I don't know how the fuck you passed any of those classes. I don't know how the fuck you got in there. I would hate to say that you are making that up, but like, I don't know how one would come prepared with a fucking transcript, but you sure didn't learn enough there.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for that. Let me make some closing remarks because I will let you go. It's way past my bedtime. Can I say something genuinely nice? I actually appreciate you having me, and it's very nice to have dialogue, even though you don't agree. And I'm very excited for all the hate DMs I'm about to get and all these things. But it's
yeah. I wish I could say the same. But I don't think that this is good dialogue. I think it's good dialogue in the sense that, like, hopefully somebody on the fence who is like underinformed about like this conversation, I don't know how you could be in 2025, hearing your arguments and then hearing my arguments, you could hear the difference in understanding and I think in compassion and in their arguments. And they will hear how bad your arguments were and go, okay, that's the only fucking positive that I think can come of this is them hearing how bad you fucking did. We're not friends. They do this all the fucking time. We're not buds. That was not fun. I don't like debating other people's fucking reality and humanity. You're taking the position that other people should be harmed because of who they are. I'm saying stop fucking doing that. That's ultimately what this conversation boils down to. You can't describe the reasons why you feel that way hilariously. I can. That sucks. You think you did a good job, which also sucks. And I don't know how to get over that fucking that speed bump. I don't know how to get over that speed bump where she's going, I killed that. I fucking nailed it, dude. Are my requests not working now? What the fuck is happening? Anyway. I'm trying to bring up our friend Eli, but that didn't work for some reason. So, Eli was in the request, and I hit accept, and then he left. I also hit Jolly, and he left also. I don't know. I think there's something going on with my my requests. So yeah. Okay. Well, what are you gonna do? Any follow-ups? I think my requests are broken. Suddenly. I'm trying. I'm hitting accept and nothing's happening. Which sucks. I don't really want to restart. It's 2,500 fucking people. Thanks, Maze. Agree. Just restarted. We just had a little restart. Yeah, anyway. Oh, God. Glad there wasn't anything nefarious on my fucking screen. Where's Marissa? Okay. Yes. Hey, we fixed it. What's up?
Wow, tough follow-up.
Tell me why you're transphobic, Marissa.
Why would you do that to me?
You were saying something about, the most surprising part of that fucking conversation is that woman graduated from Columbia University. And it just must be in Columbia, Mississippi. I have no fucking idea if that's true or not. And if it is, I like, how do you, in that field, in this field, you must have learned about this at some point.
Yeah, I can't speak to an undergrad in psychology because I've done all my degrees in science, but just kidding. I would have guessed she went to OU, honestly.
I was waiting for, we didn't even get into the fucking God conversation, but like, holy dude, that was frustrating.
I did, while you guys were sort of going through all of that, I took it upon myself to read the article that she linked, this meta-analysis. And the author of this was Ryan T. Anderson, and it says PhD next to his name. And something that I love to do is go look at like what they graduated from, what kind of studies they published, everything that they've done. Oh boy. Dr. Anderson. Dr. Anderson did his undergraduate in ministry studies. He got a bachelor's of art in music. And then he got his PhD. It was a psychology PhD, or I'm sorry, a philosophy PhD, which a lot of PhDs are philosophy, but they follow on something else. His was general. And he, here's what he's known for. Opposition to the legal availability of abortion, as well as LGBTQ rights in the United States, including legal recognition of same-sex marriage, legislative bills and judicial rulings that ban discrimination against LGBT people in the United States. So he opposes those. And laws that ban the practice of conversion therapy on children. So he is in favor of conversion therapy on children.
It's a good non-partisan, non-biased source that she found.
Right.
Right.
Right. And this is sort of my encouragement to everyone. Like when you start looking for sources and you're vetting those things, especially when you're trying to use them in a debate, you need to understand the authors of those publications. Like you need to look into what they've done, their degree status. Like you would be surprised to find that some of these, like in this article, they talk about a doctor, a guy who has an MD next to his name. You would be surprised to find that a lot of these people have lost their medical license to practice, or like people did not finish residency and are not licensed to practice in the US. So like,
but this was
what we
almost,
talk about.
this is almost entirely outside the point. Like this was obvious. When I typed in what she typed up, what she told me to type up, and the first thing was the fucking Heritage Foundation, and the next three things are conservative think tanks, right? That reference this particular study, which is like a very, very transparent reach to confirm your bias, right? It almost doesn't matter because like what you're doing here is saying, and again, I like this one piece of data that I'm choosing to bring forth should be looked at with equal weight as the overwhelming consensus of a like very well-rounded group of like scientists and psychologists who have been studying this for decades and decades. And you're saying that this little point, this one single pinprick should be looked at. And what we're saying is that's not how fucking data works. And if you have a degree in psychology, you should definitely understand at least that. And like you trying to say that or making this false equivalence that like, it's insane. It's an insane like point to try and make in the first place. So it doesn't even matter what this fucking says. It doesn't. Anyway.
Right. And you know, the American Medical Association has the journal, you know, that we all, JAMA, if you don't know.
Yeah.
And this is a peer-reviewed medical journal. And this is like the gold standard. And she would have read this stuff in her psychology undergrad. None of what you find in JAMA supports her thoughts and feelings. And
Mostly feelings.
Mostly feelings. And we know, like, oh no, sorry, go ahead.
No. There was a couple of times where I was flummoxed because the questions were, I ask questions I know the answers to for the most part. And so when you go, are people born gay? And then, I mean, I don't know what she's going to say, but like, it's one of the two. And she goes, it's both. And I go, huh? And she goes, I chose. And I was like, wait, I've never had to argue this before. And I don't know. And like, how do you fucking, that is, I'll say this. I'll just, from my understanding, and I will reiterate to the 2,200 people here, I'm a fucking idiot. Fundamentally. I'm not a smart man, okay? And so like I need things to be explained to me very easily. And so like in my 40 years and like I don't sit here in front of you like I did not come out of the womb this enlightened. I am embarrassed to say, but in the time that I've been alive, I've learned a lot of things. And like one of them is how to understand why people are gay. Not even why, but how I've come to understand what homosexuality is, right? And like the idea, like a very easily digestible thing is like, I'm not making a choice and therefore no one else is. And like, and once you make that connection, it's very easy to sit there and go, now if they're not making a choice, if gay people are not making a choice, trans people are not making a choice. It's a very logical fucking line to understanding how people live in our fucking society. It's a very fucking easy thing. If you fundamentally don't agree that people are like born a certain way, then you are going to have a bad time understanding this entire conversation. And that is agreed upon science. Again, that is the universally agreed upon understanding of our sexuality is that it is very little nurture and more nature. And like, dumb.
Yeah, actually most of our studies point towards like biological underpinnings. And so kind of what you can see when you read these studies is that there's a high likelihood of a prenatal hormone exposure, and it can influence like brain organization, and that is distinct. That is where we have distinctions in gender identity or like sexuality type. And so, like for example, because I like to cite my sources, right? The European Society of Endocrinology, they did a study, they released it in 2018, and it shows that for transgender individuals, their brains actually show their desired gender from a very early age. And you see that in things like there's smaller gray matter volume in specific cerebellar and orbitofrontal regions. And you compare that to cisgender controls, and it shows that pattern matches their affirmed gender.
Yep.
In addition, white matter tracks, or like brain wiring in trans individuals, can resemble that of their experienced gender, which again suggests an early biological influence.
Yep.
Also, activation patterns
All of
during
these things are
cognitive
true.
tasks mirrored.
All
their
of these things are true,
desires.
and all of these things, weirdly, we weren't even arguing this. Like the studies, again, the studies like are agreed upon, but like that's not the point. The point is talking about how Eli's experience of masculinity in America is fundamentally making my experience of masculinity less, and how I feel slighted by that.
Yep.
Eli, your response.
Sorry. My bad.
All right. Apology accepted.
Yeah. Wow. There's like a lot of things that I've got in my. I know. I like to, when I'm up on Parker's like platform or like on a bigger live, I like to turn my camera on and then ask them to call me a woman, because usually that helps out. And I don't mind, because they usually do. They'll ask me like, hey, what's your, like, what do you have in your pants and whatnot? It's like the creepiest fucking thing when people ask me what's in my pants. But this is what I look like for anybody who doesn't know who I am. I'm Eli. I'm 32. Well, soon I'll be 33. I'm a trans man.
How was your lobotomy?
Actually, I'm still waiting.
Me too, dude.
I don't get my lobotomy
Anytime
until after my top surgery. So
that's the normal order of operations.
yeah, it's top surgery, lobotomy.
I don't know like at what point you joined, but like we did this very like circuitous conversation where we like I started with simple shit like she mentioned in her video. It was just like he confused himself between sex and gender. I was like, I didn't, because I know what those are. And I was like, I hesitated to put that in the video because I didn't want her to go look it up like an idiot. I thought she was gonna go do research like a fucking moron. That's how dumb I am. I was like, I don't want to give her ammo, but I'm a fucking moron, and she would never. So I put it in the video. I was like, those are words that are different. And I was like, can you tell me the difference? And she was like, there's no difference. And I was like, here's the difference. And then we had this long bullshit conversation, and then we ended up back at this. And I was like, what's the difference? We went over this already. And she goes, I think that and I was like, I cannot get over this. It's an open book test. It was like, you know how you like study something and then you have a quiz on the stuff you studied earlier in the class? That's what we did. And she failed. And that like, I was doing the same thing. I like to do the same thing. I don't know if that's questionable, but I'm like, tell me how can you tell I'm a man? And they're like, mustache. And I'm like, okay, great, dude. Sick.
Mine's not quite grown. It's only been 8 months.
She was like short hair, and I'm like, huh? What?
I think my hair's shorter than you. Does that make me more of a man than you?
Yes, actually, technically. But like, and what are those examples of, Taylor? And she was like, sex, and I'm like, no, no, dude,
no. Yeah. So I do want to acknowledge this, because this is actually there's something that I did want to do. I wanted to acknowledge all of the trans people that may still be listening or who may have listened. Just like coming from either your older or younger brother, I just want you to know that I love you and you're valid. And while it's important to bring like the medicine aspect into things when that argument comes up, even if our brains were not designed in a way that like, makes us trans, you're valid and you are trans regardless of bioessentialism. It doesn't matter if somebody doesn't see you as a man or a woman or non-binary or like whatever. You are who you say you are, and all these people are just fucking weird and obsessed for some strange reason. I don't get it. But I love you. I'm gonna acknowledge this comment, GT, because somebody called Justin said, if you have to have surgery or take medicine to change who you are, it's not normal. Just accept who you are. So here's the thing.
I love that, dude. Go
So
for
here's
it.
the thing. The problem is you aren't accepting who I am. I did do that. It took me like years to even fucking publicly tell people because I knew I was going to face people like you and like the last person who are going to reject me. In fact, I'm so confident in who I am that it cost me my fucking 13-year military career. I was so confident in who I was that I said, I don't give a fuck what you say. And I lost my goddamn job because of the bigotry. I got kicked out of active duty for it. The thing that I wanted to acknowledge that she kept saying, and this probably bothered me the fucking most of all, is this notion that I just woke up one day and I put on a pair of fucking baggy pants and a big shirt. I chopped my hair off and I said, I'm a man. I didn't wake up one day and decide I was a man. These fucking clothes were not clothes I always wore. I didn't used to be on testosterone. And I knew I was a man before any of that shit. I knew I was a boy. I picked Eli, the name, when I was like 6 years old. So we don't just wake up and fucking decide that we're a different gender. It is just as much like GT said, you don't think about it any more or less. Like I had to think about it harder because when I said I'm a boy and people told me I'm not, I was like, what do you mean?
I wanted to
That's
address your thing because there was other avenues that we didn't get to talk to Taylor about, but like what that guy said to you. Sorry, this guy sucks, so don't worry about it. But this guy, it's too bad this screenshot's in the back. This guy got plugs in his hair. He got surgery. This big, strong, transphobic fucking guy is currently accepting gender affirming care. All of you dudes out there getting testosterone replacement because we're getting a little old and things aren't moving around like they should. Affirming care. You know that big giant truck that you're driving around? That's gender affirming care. But that's the biggest one. That is one that people just engage with. All that shit that you do is like it's you guys do that too. Women get gender affirming care all the fucking time.
Yeah.
All the fucking time they get surgery to affirm their gender. And like and it doesn't fucking, who gives a shit? Crucially, who gives a shit? How is it affecting you? It doesn't. It doesn't. That is, yeah.
The same testosterone that I'm on right now, that's, I don't know if people realize this. You know how like there's a difference between, like she couldn't grasp like the difference between sex and gender. That's, even though her associate's degree is in psychology, I do know that they don't teach you about that in psychology. That would be something you would need to take, like, I don't know, a science type related degree in. But something that really, there's so many different, like, there's 5 characteristics, right, of like sex for those that don't know. Like that would fall under like phenotypical presentation. When we change how we outwardly present, that's phenotypical presentation. That's one thing, right? And so what trans people, some of us do, is we start taking things like HRT, hormone replacement therapy. One of your sex characteristics is quite literally your home hormones. So we change that one entirely. Like my hormone levels are higher than most of the cisgender men probably in this chat right now.
Shots
and the
fired,
same testosterone and the same testosterone that I take right now is the testosterone that inevitably, because also provider, healthcare, 13 years, inevitably non-transgender men are going to end up on the same testosterone that I'm on. It's just going to be for different reasons because your PP is not going to work. You're not going to have energy. All that stuff.
We didn't even get into this, like all this stuff about what chromosomes are and like how there are people who are intersexed and like how they're like this completely like cartoonishly binary understanding of what these things are for people like this. And like, we didn't even get into like, what's a woman? What makes a woman? They're like, reproduction. And you're like, hysterectomies. We didn't even go through all the fucking rigmarole because like, we couldn't even agree that she understood what the fucking, anyway.
Yeah.
There are so many, this is such a like, it's not, this bumps me out, dude.
There's also other arguments. There's somebody who like repeatedly said in the chat like chemical castration, and I don't know what you're saying. If you're talking about puberty blockers can be used for that in very high doses, but puberty blockers don't cause the castration unless they're in high doses. At low doses, they're actually life-saving for children born with precocious puberty. So, yeah.
Also, a lot of people conflate being transgender with having gender dysphoria, and they are two completely different things, and it is not exclusive. So gender dysphoria, the definition is just distress experienced by a transgender person and may be present from a very young age with incongruency, but it is not required that they experience that, and a lot of them don't. But we know that gender identity is an essential part of our psychological health. And if unaddressed, regardless of how you identify, it can lead to serious psychological issues if we force people to conform to what we want them to conform to instead of allowing them to express and identify in the ways that they feel make sense for them. Aside from all the medical stuff about how, you know, there's actual biological differences here, but like, and I say biological differences in that transgender people are valid and they have the biology to back them up in how they're feeling if we needed to get to that point.
Her points were and continued to be as simple-minded and as dumb as this was. The T is hurting the movement, which she fundamentally doesn't care about. So the T is hurting the movement, which is not a unique position that we've heard ever before. And also, why is just accepting and being nice a reasonable thing to require of people? And that was it. There is no further argument about her thesis. That was the entirety of her argument. Both of which I tried to address. Both of which we tried to address. Her argument was trans people are hurting the LGBTQ. I'm saying the absolute end of that conversation is that trans people have been and have always been part of the civil rights movement for gay people in America and across the globe, and have been present for fucking millennia. Okay, gender nonconformity has been around since the dawn of goddamn time. So, A, go fuck yourself. B, the idea that if you're saying that we can't just explain how there is harm. And if your harm is, it's hurting words, and those words are words you don't bother learning the definitions of, like sex and gender, you don't actually care about that. It's not actually harming. And no, your reason for letting people just be who they are is not valid. So you lost decisively on both of those fucking arguments, which were the only arguments. Shut up forever. Thanks.
There's just two things too. Yeah, no, like two things, like to go off of what you're saying. Like, I like hurting the quote unquote movement is so funny because for some reason they think we literally have an agenda, like genuinely. And then, two, yeah, so for those that don't know, in the 1930s in Germany, we had like a medical facility. We had like a lot of advancements that like for that time in medicine for trans people and stuff. And in Germany in the 1930s, for those of you who don't know what was going on with a mustache man over there, we were the first people to have our books like burned, which we see the equivalent of in a modern day setting. Mm-hmm. And so we had our facilities burned down. Like trans people were put into the C camps. So like there was 6 million Jewish people that were put into C camps and 11 million people total unalived. and the rest of those folks were like socialists, which we're seeing attacks on. And so it's important. Trans people, there's evidence of our existence since ancient history, and I have sources for this. But even in not ancient history, even in like recent,
Even
like
in
we
recent
have.
history.
We've made our mark. We're not an ideology. Hearing trans ideology makes I feel like my ears are literally bleeding because we're not an ideology. We're literally just, I'm a human being.
I need to do better about clocking that.
No, you're cool. You're
No,
cool.
but it's also like it is, and it's just that is repeated over and over again as if that is what this is, and it's absolutely not what that is. And oh god. The other thing that she did was like, this is all new. This is all new. In recent years, it has exploded. And I was like, the difference between gender and sex, it never used to be like this. And I was like, huh? Okay. Like, yeah. And it's like,
no, we just used to be more closeted about it. We used to be more hidden because we were afraid of being unalived, like we're still being. That's why you didn't hear about it. Also, social media didn't exist, so we didn't have the ability to just like I can just like pop up on a little screen and be like, "Hi, I'm trans."
I exist.
You know,
that is often. Sorry, just a lot of recap happening right now. Ultimately what this is, ultimately what it normally is idiots, bigots. Or idiot bigots, and sometimes bigoted idiots, say it's an ideology, and they're pushing it, and it's proliferating. And what they're conflating is seeing trans people in front of them, and for some reason that is somehow forcing anyone's lifestyle upon you, as if we aren't like shown heterosexual relationships and like over sexualized children since the minute that we open our eyes and look at screens. And the idea that like the conflation between those two things drives me crazy, because you don't clock it. What you're saying is that you don't like seeing them in public. You don't like seeing trans people. You don't like seeing gay people. You don't like seeing people of color in public as much as you are. And that is the ideology that's being pushed. And you can go kick rocks, dude.
But why? The question is, why don't they? The question is why they don't like, because for some fucking reason, I know with trans people, with black people, I'm convinced they're just fucking jealous. Like white people, it's just a bunch of jealousy. They just are jealous that they're not fucking cultured, that they have like nothing going for them. And then with trans people, I think it's genuinely, and gay people, I think it's genuinely about some sort of internal insecurity. I think that there's like something about my existence challenges men and makes them feel like, wait, you can call, like, I'm sorry, there's men out there, but you were born with like a natal penis. I promise testosterone does some things where unfortunately trans men, we grow, man. Like, and I don't know how to say that in any other TikTok friendly way, but I think that we threaten the patriarchy. We threaten like just like men in general. And I think that's what it is.
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to this fetishized idea of what women should be, and so when you challenge their idea or their feeling, they snap.
Yeah, they're missing out anyways, because trans women are women, and you're awesome, and I love you. If you're a trans woman, I love you, and if you're not a trans woman, I also love you.
She said that in her video too. She was like, she basically wanted me to go on record and say that I would date a trans woman. She said that she was like, I want to see if you fucking, and I was just like, what is your hang up?
I also want to point out that in the same breath that they say these things about people in the LGBTQIA plus community, because I love all of you, all right? They will go and watch pornography.
Yeah.
That you know,
What?
shows us, but then and I say us, I am a bisexual woman, all right? I'm not a trans woman, but they will watch that stuff and they will, fantasize about it while also thinking that we just shouldn't exist. None of us should be here. None of us should be allowed to
Yeah, like men that don't like gay people, they don't have anything to say about it. Like, and I'm talking about obviously the homophobes. They don't have anything to say about it when it comes to watching like lesbian content.
Right.
Yeah.
What breaks their brain is that when women watch men,
Yeah.
they're like, wait, first of all, women watch this? And then
Yeah.
they're like, wait, hang on, women can finish? These are all revelations to these people. Okay, just entirely. I'm just,
They just don't care. They don't
Honestly.
care. It's fake. A woman.
it is a
woman-
myth.
It's a myth. Yeah.
The myth of the female.
They
orgasm.
think they're competing with other men, but really they're competing with me. And I can do it blindfolded.
All right, let's try and keep this live. I just realized.
Anyway.
We're on TikTok still.
I almost cammed off.
Well, fuck it. This has been fun, but this is the last time we'll ever be like, yeah. It continues to be in the midst of everything that's going on, right? And like the sort of like escalation of like not just normalizing, but this is the other thing. She was like, being trans is celebrated right now, and I was like, I don't understand. That's how we got talking about how like conflating being celebrated and just seeing people on like in real life. And like with it, what is being celebrated is this sort of like hostile, violent overcorrection to the progress, societal progress that we've made in the last 10 years. And it is this like, it is people who are like, I can say the R slur again. I'm fine with like saying horrific shit to trans people in real, because I'm now emboldened by this sort of like general horrific shit that's going on. And like to watch what's actually happening with our eyes and ears, and like our friends in the community and their experience with like hatred and violence directed towards them, and to have somebody come up here and say it's actually celebrated is such a like, it is such a departure from reality that you like, it is so jarring to hear somebody think that, or at least say that. I don't know if she actually, but like, I'm sure people hear that and go, yeah, that's right. That's it. That is this ideology push. And like, it is so opposite to what everyone else is experiencing. And it's frustrating and angering. And that's all.
Oh my God. And somebody brought up an amazing point. And they said, meanwhile, they will never end child marriage. And I just have to, like, we all know,
Yeah. Epstein files. Where? Dude.
But
I
trans
have a
people.
question, an off-topic question for Eli.
Oh.
What's up?
Eli, you have your DD-214 now, right?
Yeah, I do.
I just have to ask, were you an IDMT? I clocked it.
Oh yeah, I just usually don't talk about my job on lives. Only because there's like so few of us. There's only like
Yeah.
450 of us. It's like specialized training. But wait, do I know you?
You don't, but you mentioned we're same branch, same line of work.
Yeah, we can DM about it. I just usually don't. I'll DM you. That was
Cool, guys. Me too. That's cool.
Sorry.
That's great.
it's my
Yeah.
job. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
R2D2. Am I right? Yeah.
I don't mind. I in the military, so I guess since I'm out now, it's a bit different. But yeah, so I was a provider in the military, and I usually don't. Yeah, no. Somebody asked me about my NDA. I never signed it. And GT, I don't know if you know this, but in order to get out of the military, they were trying to make me sign an NDA, and I refused. I went to like the base lawyers, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And they didn't even know what it was. But yeah, so I didn't sign an NDA, so I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want. I don't care. I was a provider, but I was trained through the military. So I have a national provider identifier that can be looked up by full government name, and you can see where I have dispensed, like diagnosed and dispensed medication, or like ordered prescribed medication to folks. So yeah, that is my job. I do know a lot about medicine, and now that I'm out, I'm considering med school. We'll see.
But show us your psychology degree, dude.
Yeah. NPI is National Provider Identifier. It's
Yeah, anyone that's classified as a provider gets one.
Yeah, everybody who's a provider, in order to like dispense medications, you have to have an NPI.
In a more plain English, an IDMT is sort of the military's equivalent to like a PA or a nurse practitioner. Just
They like train us in like 7 different jobs so that we can deploy attached to units by ourselves. Like, so like we'll be with like one doc, like a flight doctor. And then we just kind of take shifts. So like when I would deploy, like it would either be the doc working or me working, depending on who was awake. But yeah, we would do like 24/7 medical coverage. But yes, anyways, so there, now you're included, GT. Now you know what we were talking about.
Totally. Great. Yeah. So
I had an IDC at one of my civilian jobs.
Oh shit!
It's
Yeah,
the Navy equivalent. So
that's the only other branch that has something like an IDMT. So in the Air Force world, there's only 450 of us at any given time. The Navy has a lot more, but 450 of us globally, like the whole world. So it's pretty cool. I love it. I don't miss the military. I miss my job so fucking much. I love being a provider, which is why like I don't want to go.
tried being a liberal grifter though?
Actually,
Let me tell you.
despite my best efforts.
Let me tell you, it's fucking great. It is 10 out of 10 recommend. Just yeah. So it just
sorry, I didn't mean to derail it. That's a burning question, but I know like the few times that you were up here and you were still in, it was going to be a no-go. So I was like, I'll wait until he's out and then I'll ask.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's. I expected it at some point for somebody to like figure it out, especially in the military. I usually will tell people like, if you figure out what my job is, don't say it. But
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I think it'll be okay because nobody knows. Like, I'm not
nobody
like.
in here. This doesn't translate.
Even if there is, I don't post my government name isn't on any of my social media anywhere. I scrubbed that stuff a long time ago, so not even Facebook. And I did that for like national security reasons. Actually,
Right.
Hegseth's going to jail anyway. It's fine. It's all fine.
yeah. Oh my God, there's not
It's fine.
many people that I hate more than yeah.
Yeah, I get that. It's so funny that like it's like a fantasy football draft. I say that having never played fantasy football, but I understand the mechanics where like you get a certain amount of points where you can assign like a certain amount of money, and you can just draft your team with that money. And like it's funny to hear it's the same group of people, but like the list of people that you hate in descending order is different for everybody, which I find very, very funny. Like Hegseth, he's up there, he sucks, but like ultimately there's like 10 or 15 people above him for me. Like that guy,
sure, yeah.
but for you, he's number one. And I think that
I don't know if he's number one. I don't know if he's number one because he
10.
sucks, but he's just an idiot.
yeah,
Like he's
also an idiot.
he's, you know what I mean? And so like, yeah,
Number
because I
3?
served for sure. But like, there's people like exactly Stephen Miller, Dan. Like, how could I hate Hegseth more than Miller when like Hegseth is just a puppet of Miller's? Like, it's not.
I want to see if this video,
I feel like I might be a little ignorant to a lot of the names, and so my list is small.
Honestly, I think at this, like, I'm torn between do I want to educate people or do I want to let them live in like bliss? Like,
I will say, because he's not an elected official, and I can say this, fuck RFK Jr. Seriously?
see, anybody in the medicine world, fucking, oh God, all my like social media feeds are mostly like medical centered because that was like who I spent most of my time around the last 13 years. And when RFK and Dr. Oz became a part of the discussion,
God. Not Dr. Oz. They said Dr. Oz, and I was like, no. What?
Dr. Oz.
we're doomed.
Dumpster diving for physicians.
I'm trying to find. He's literally Oscar the Grouch, but make him in charge of healthcare. He's just a dumpster monster. Where do you see your activity recent. I thought you could. Oh, watch history. Watch history. There's a video. There's a new video of Hegseth on Fox News saying exactly what you would expect him to say. How is all my watch videos me? That's saying something that I don't want it to say. Hold on. Was it on the Tennessee Holler? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yeah, I've seen it.
It's a there's
Eli,
a second
to
one.
make it like really short for you, take "I'm a Never Trump Guy" and put it on Hegseth. That's essentially what happened. It's the video surfaced from 2016.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like a you know how like everybody's so creative and makes like songs, like makes a mashup. Sorry, I just started hearing that in my head like immediately. I just started. So that's gonna happen. That has to happen.
There's this one that we saw, but there's another one
Like
now.
Fox News, where he's just tearing into him, and it's
tearing
essentially
himself.
a 10-minute like "I'm a Never Trump Guy" type deal. And then you do a flash forward, and you're like, "Oh, every accusation is a confession. Oh no!"
Oh fuck! We got
people.
No.
CBS.
Epstein. Oh, we got this. We got this today.
Get a fucking life.
This guy's like, get a fucking life. Anyway, it doesn't. I guess ultimately it doesn't matter. But like Hegseth, all these people, they have there's no moral fucking center. They'll just do whatever they want to stay in power and hurt whoever they need to on their fucking cell track.
I saw that there's actually like you brought up those like Proud Boys. I saw that there was actually a response, right, from like local police. Was that the same? Because that's what has been bothering me when they're like, oh, like this is a free country, quote unquote, like where we have freedom of speech, and like hate speech is not the same as free speech. And so for me, I don't know about you, but when I was like 15 years old, if I saw a group of like people walking around with like swastika flags, that's an incitement to violence, is it not? That's literally calling for like the mass unaliving of a lot of different categories of people.
Everybody.
So, maybe we can do more than just film it. Maybe we can hold the U-Haul company account.
You say that there's a police response. That was the police response.
Right, they are police officers. They are all police.
That was ICE
masks
marching down the street. It's the same. They wore the same masks that they go and do like the fucking. I just saw a video of a guy. I'm gonna make a video about this tomorrow. A guy, again, this just an endless fucking parade of horrific shit that's happening with ICE. But like, a guy, his father was taken by ICE, and he didn't know where he was for like 24 hours. And then he started tracking his dad's truck with his fucking AirTag. And he went to go find, like the truck was moving around and dad wasn't answering. So he went and like tracked down the truck at like some fuck ass vape store. And a white dude got out of his truck and was like, "You stole my dad's truck." And the fucking ICE guy was like, "He got detained." And then the kid was like, "Then why are you driving around?" This motherfucker stole a truck. I was just driving this guy's truck around. And like, we know that this is happening. We know that this is like, this must be happening constantly, and it's horrifying. But like, think about how brazen that is. But like, they must be stealing everything. Any fucking money that these people have, any jewelry, any like, these people, there is not no honor amongst you. And oh my God, I can never remember her name. Wait for it. This woman.
The far right
Kendall
has
Brown.
officially found their newest outrage cycle, and I'm about to prove that
Kendall Brown is incredible and is one of my new faves.
Yeah,
But
I
the
love
far
her.
right has
she made-
and her mom.
No, that's not it. She made a very apt comparison, and she just started showing like all the shit the Nazis were stealing from people that they were like kidnapping and murdering. And it was just piles of watches and piles of clothes and piles of money and it's this. It's the same fucking thing. They're just stealing and then deporting people, God knows where, losing children. It's hard to fucking describe how bad this is.
And
And
of
it's
course,
we're just
conditions of facilities,
the fucking
the
torture
for-profit.
accusations.
Not
Amnesty
only
International.
are they subject to physical violence, but they are subject to sexual assault as punishment as well.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember the
Men
Farmville
and
Super
women.
Spreader? The Farmville
what?
Super Spreader event in 2020? And it was a ICE detention facility, and they ended up it was out of Arizona, Southern
Oh,
California, and
Yes.
New Mexico, I believe, and it was 79 immigrants that were being detained that were shipped all over the country, and then they caused this massive COVID super spreader event. Anyway, my point is that there's conditions to which they're being held as well. It's not just the inhumane ways that they're being taken, but the ways that they're being held and shipped around. And something that's come out recently about it, and you think about how these people are being transported all over the country before they're sent somewhere that they have no idea, is that it's illegal to move a federal agent without cause. So you can't just take a federal agent from one area and move them to another. However, in the Farmville super spreader event, it is hypothesized that because they were trying to move federal agents to certain areas, it was so much easier to just take a bunch of immigrants that people didn't know where they were and just send them to these different states. And if they overwhelmed these facilities, they would have to send more federal agents there. And so they could just move the agents around without, within the binds of the law. And so when you consider kind of how they're doing stuff here.
I mean, it makes sense where they have we've had privatized prisons. The Constitution was written like this intentionally. There's the essentially constitutional loophole for still continuing to enslave people.
The 13th.
And so we have all these privatized prisons all over the America. They outright just said they were going to be sending people to different camps and other places, and we're seeing the exact quite literally the playbook. I mean, that's exactly what happened early on in the 1930s as well. They were sending not people back to where they quote unquote came from, but to sea camps in Poland or just specific places, which is why the majority of people at the time didn't know it was even fucking really happening.
Right.
We're seeing it all happening in front of our faces, and that's the problem. They're erasing people with Hispanic sounding last names so that they can John Doe them in the system and claim that they're unalived, and they're sending them all over the place, like you said, Marissa. And now we have the same people that are in these masks going and being that same protection, and so people can't tell the difference between an ICE agent or not that the ICE agents are good. And so now they're going to just like somebody even said, imagine what's happening to the women. We already know what's happening to women.
Further parallel, after the Reichstag fire and after the fucking insurrection that Hitler did, when he rose to power and pardoned all those people, they all became the SS. And so tens of hundreds of fucking violent insurrectionists were given bonuses to join this place. We know this is true because people have been arrested, and not only that, counter protests normally composed of 3%ers and the Proud Boys and the fucking Patriot Front are not present at all of these ICE protests. Why? Because they're already there. They're already fucking in uniform, in the same uniform that they've always been. And so they have gone and taken people who hate indiscriminately, who are violent by nature, I would say, against the people that they hate, and have been given a green light to round up and do hate crimes to people that they don't like. And it is again, and I don't care if you think that I'm being hyperbolic. It's a 1-to-1 fucking comparison from Nazi Germany to this. It is exactly the same thing that they did.
Verbatim.
To the letter, the same fucking thing that they did.
But like a
it's
play-by-play,
crazy.
everything that happens, if you know your history, nothing will surprise you that happens. Like there's not a breaking news, unfortunately, that happens. All it is kind of like it's like a reinforcement every time I hear a story because I know history. And like
We're gonna do a new history though.
the parade. The parade. Oh yeah, no, we're not fucking letting this happen again. Like the Nuremberg trials are not going to go the same way this time. I promise. I'm not letting. I can take a screenshot of every single person's profile, username, anything that I can find about them. Their reposted videos, anything that could help us find them, and I keep them in a
I will.
album.
If we can do this, I will volunteer. I will join for free an organization that is going through all of the ICE, every red cent that was paid to every ICE agent post 2025. I'm going to find out who they are, and we're going to religiously match videos of people violently assaulting people, and I'm going to put each of them in prison somehow. I promise.
That's easy. Just go get a job at OPM.
I'm going to find out what OPM is, and I'm going
Office
to
of
get a
Personnel
job.
Management. And they
I'm gonna
manage
get a
all
job.
federal employees.
It'll be like reverse ICE. It'll be like, how do you like it? How do you like?
Ice.
How does it feel?
Baby.
Except
We
for
gotta-
you deserve it. You're not innocent like the people that you're locking up.
Also, and I've said this many times on this panel in the past, is that the atrocities committed by our government and I guess condoned by our government overseas will always come back here. And in most recent history, look at what they're doing in Palestine and what they're doing in the prisons, like the Israeli prisons where they're keeping Palestinians, and look at what they're doing to immigrants here.
Yep. Because they're using the same tactics that they're using over there.
And if we don't, like, I think everybody has to like understand too how important, like how critical it is that we handle like the aftermath of this appropriately. Because like they're gonna keep coming back like fucking cockroaches. These little like white tees,
there needs to
Mrs.
be-
Proud Boys. They're gonna fucking go back into their mom's little den and they're gonna like bury themselves.
Proliferate.
And then exactly. And they're gonna fucking wait another 80 years and they're gonna try and do it again. So we gotta like make sure that we get them because we owe it. Especially like the like white population. We fucking owe it. Literally, like morally, we are obligated to fucking stop letting people be unalived at the hands of actual imbeciles, like true idiots. Like, we can't keep letting
Honest
things.
fucking common denominator.
Yeah, like
We need
it's time, and there needs to be a whole like we need to ratify and fucking amend go back through the Constitution and fucking scrub it and write it in a way that's inclusive to everybody. And we need to have a better Nuremberg trials. Like
The Constitution was always meant to be, and all right, this is a position I took in my political philosophy class. All right. The Constitution was always envisioned in being a living document in that it adjusts with the current times that you live in. And we haven't done any adjustment on our Constitution to meet the current times that we live in. And so I 100% agree. We need to go through and we need to re-ratify in the way that it fits society now and the things that we do now.
We need to survive the Nick Fuentes of it all before
I'm not worried about that guy.
I am very worried about that guy.
yeah,
Did you see
Incredibly
Piers
worried about
Morgan talk to him?
Yeah, but like the brain rot that's happening around that is that like people are watching him and going like he killed, and like
He said out loud
doesn't
that
matter.
he is
Marissa,
a 27-year-old virgin.
it doesn't matter.
And we know that
He's
that is
proud of
not
it.
by choice.
It doesn't fucking matter. These people have fully lost the plot, dude. And like, hold on. This is the second time I'm going looking for a dumb dick video, but like, oh yeah, here.
Jews are running society. Women need to shut the fuck up. Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. Most part. And we would live in paradise.
That's the reaction that they're having. Like, they think he did great. They think that that's like fun and a fun, good thing. And so like, I know that like we're all watching that, like horrified, but there are people with like half a brain who think that is the future. And there's so many of them. There's so many idiots.
it's
like,
because they're catching them when they're young. they're grooming, literally
This
doing.
guy's fucking 36 years old. Like, he shouldn't be doing this, but like, like to your point, like he was on Piers Morgan. He was like, I'm a 27-year-old virgin. And people were like, actually, he's still making some pretty good points. And like, it's gone beyond.
No way.
We used to shame the shit out of somebody like that. Like, hey, shut the fuck up about your position on women. You've never seen boobs in real life. Like, shut up. But no, they're like, the guy made a video of him laughing about how black people need to be put in prison. Like, this is why I think the danger that guy poses is very real. And I think that like the power that he wields, he also is this sort of like Joker character where one of his main criticisms from his like followers is that he doesn't actually care about anything. And like, there's videos of him saying the exact opposite thing, same problematic thing about both sides of whatever he's fucking talking about. Talks out both sides of his mouth very, very eloquently and very like convincingly. And people are like, what do you actually fucking believe? Like, from 1 minute, he's like, no, Jews are pretty good. Like, they actually, and then he's like, yeah, but they do control the weather. And so, like, nobody knows. And it is this sort of insane hyper nihilism that, like, you can't control. You can't predict it. And it's very fucking scary. Like, and that guy, that's Hitler. That's a Hitler. That's who gets power. And he will. And we cannot allow that to proliferate.
I don't know. He's not Christian enough for that side.
He's also half Mexican, which they hate, ultimately. Which is the funniest fucking thing about that is that, like, not funny, haha, funny, I want to jump off a bridge, funny, but like, he'll never be as white as he needs to like do this, but but that itself doesn't matter suddenly to the most ardent white supremacist. Like, I don't fucking know. I don't know how to do it. I don't fucking know.
I didn't even
They're
know
all
he
connected.
existed until, I don't know, 6 months ago.
Yep.
I also didn't know Charlie Kirk existed either until a month before.
Lucky.
What a privileged life Marissa has led. We're all finding out.
Fucking lucky.
What an absolute.
My algorithm just is
I would give anything.
leftist, echo chamber, and I love it. And I interact with medical and science
Fine.
like content, and so all I get sent is medicine and science, and now like all you crazy liberals, which
Yeah.
I love you
My
guys.
For You page is almost entirely like auto-tune Nick Fuentes news.
And then I started
odd.
watching these streams, and I was like, oh wow, there's a lot
no.
to unpack here.
Yeah.
My For You page is mostly like, obviously, like current events, like politics and stuff, and then like animals doing weird things, like cats knocking things off tables, or a horse like falling over a fence because I don't know, and then like singing. I think that's like
It's the Charlie Kirk remix singing, though. The Charlie Kirk song. I was watching right before this, I was watching Hassan talk about like the memification of Charlie Kirk, and he's like, if I go like that, it's not going to be like, it's not just the embarrassment of getting got like that. It is just the endless sort of memes that happen of posthumously. And like, can you imagine your fucking family having to sit there and watch? First of all, it happened over and over and over again. Like, I would never wish that on, God help my parents, that ever happened. But like, also the continuation, like the memification of your death is I think we all died a long time ago, and this is hell. Like, it is fully rotting everyone's brain. Turn it off. I'll lose my job. I don't care. I'll go sweep chimneys. I don't know what the fuck else I'd do, but like, turn the internet off. We've had enough. It's turn it off. We don't need it anymore. Paper ballots. Let's go. Sorry, this is spiraling out of control.
Eli, did you join About Face yet?
oh god, I don't think so. Why? What is that?
You should. It's an organization of veterans, a post 9/11 veterans organization. It's About Face Veterans Against the War. So join them.
Yeah. Okay. Is there like a particular? What do I need to just like look them up on?
Yeah, just Google them, and then you'll have to submit your DD-214. But they do like a secure channel that you can put it in, and then they do like activism, and I think Matt is part of About Face, if I'm not mistaken. One creator that I have followed for a long time, part of them is Greg Stoker. Depending on how you feel.
I need to like look into it. You said it was called About Face?
Yeah, Veterans
Okay.
Against the War.
Yeah, I'll look into it, but I don't know that name. So I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Just remembered that I have to write. I just remembered 2 emails that I have to write that I haven't written yet. That reminded me. Nothing.
They're just like an anti-imperialism, anti-colonialism veterans organization. Similar to the Vietnam era anti-war vets, but they also do a lot of like political protesting too. Like they do a lot of ICE protesting, and like they were big on that veterans march in DC, and yeah.
Oh, my buddy Jacob said Greg's from Austin. He was on the flotilla. Nice.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay. Then I probably know the face. No, the face. But James came in a second ago and said, GT, have you spoken about Crockett yet? And I just wanted to point it out because that's so fucking exciting. I'm so excited. I knew it. My dream ticket is Jasmine Crockett, and it used to be Crockett Harris. Now it's like, which I'd be okay with as well, but now it's like Crockett Mamdani. Like if I could have a dream like presidential, like oh my god, the country would just heal. Like we'd get an appropriate Nuremberg trial.
All right. I think for me it would be Dave Bautista and probably John Cena. That would be
John Cena.
because you can't. Anyway,
it wouldn't be the first time that we had like some fucking celebrity become a president. You know. Not that the current example of that was the best of celebrities.
Here's I remain sort of, and I get a lot of flack for this, and that's fine. I remain a sort of like an unfortunate pragmatist a little bit, and that's all I'll say about that. I think that there are going to have to be, if this were any other time, I would be like fucking Mamdani, president and vice president, single man ticket. Fuck it, who cares? But like, I think I'm just kidding. I think that like I think we're so far away. I was just talking about this with somebody, and we were talking about like what's our best ticket, and then I was like, we have 3 more years. Like, oh God, we have so much to even, and like, you remember how like old heel boots DeSantis was like for sure gonna be the nominee. 100%. 100% going to be the nominee, and that happens every time. What's his name? Dean, 100% going to be, and then he did the one, and then his career's over. And so, like, whoever, I think everyone's like, Newsom's going to be our guy. There's going to do this, and then Mark Kelly's having a moment, and he's like, we have no fucking idea what is going to happen in the next couple of years. If we have a midterm, there's so much that is left up to the universe that I think that we can get excited about stuff. I think that
there's a lot of people, when I said Crockett, a lot of people started putting in the chat that she's a Zio. I have never heard that. But I'm not like pro Israel, so let me just put it out there that I don't know about that, and I'm absolutely pro Pally. So let me just like make that very, very fucking clear. I don't know about Crockett, but that's not what I know of her. But I am gonna say that just for me, like I'm not gonna like let that go.
But this is also something that like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a fucking is like a softball home run, but they've done such a unique preemptive smear campaign for her entire political career that it would be so hard. And they do the same thing. Well, they do the same thing for every woman. I don't know if you caught that, but every time a woman becomes has any sort of like momentum, political momentum, they're like, actually, she eats the blood of children, and
Literally.
in her like she and like and so
especially a black woman. Like, there's never going to be a day where there's like you could. I mean, fucking we had a black man run for president, and his wife couldn't. Like, she had to catch a whole bunch of strays because of
Still catching strays.
You know,
Still
it has to.
catching
It's always. They're always.
and like again, we have to like the very deep. And I understand why this is a deeply unpopular opinion, but like we have to some degree work within the confines of our like fucked up country, and we must like deal with the reality that people aren't going to like overcome their biases tomorrow because it's the right thing to do, and like that sucks, but we can't lose again. We fully fucking can't lose again, and like we cannot survive, and like that's how I feel about that. And I know that is like there's a whole host of reasons why that's a problem, but
Can I say something potentially controversial? So what I'm hoping that we get from all of this too, going into future elections, is that the presidency was never supposed to be held to this type of power, this type of standard. It was always supposed to be like your most valued office was intended on being like your governor or your mayor, you know? And for some reason, we've changed course and have put all the value in the presidency, but there's still a lot of value in having these people in the Senate or the House, like these wonderful candidates that we love so much, because the presidency is not the end all be all, and they can do so much for us in Congress, or they can do so much for us as governors. I mean, look at what Newsom's doing. So
it's a really great point.
What I'm hoping is that we start to kind of shift back and understand like that was the original way that our government was written, and it should never have gotten to this point.
Well, that's what I'm seeing a lot of right now is like the younger generation that has like okay, sorry, this is like a new thought, so I apologize for how this comes out. But there's like a group of us, like millennials and Gen Xers, that really need to fucking vote, that really need to fucking be active in the political environment. And I think, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are privileged that I don't think are, like they haven't been impacted directly yet. And I think that's part of the magic that they're working, is getting these younger folks that haven't even voted in an election. They don't know, they don't remember what it was like when Obama got voted in. They don't remember all these things. And so they're not used to what you're saying, Marissa, where they're like, or we're saying like, oh yeah, the president isn't meant to have this kind of power. This is not the way that like democracy works, where like this younger generation, like they don't have that experience. They don't see, they don't know, they've never been a part of this. So this is literally their example of what they think America is supposed to be like. And that's the part that I haven't come to terms with yet. That's the part that scares me. Like the part that I think that we need to be realizing is we have to genuinely be involved, because especially those of us that know what it's like.
I need to play you this. Before James goes. This is Nick Powers, whom I also like a lot. Ready?
This for all you
I'm putting my sad hat on. What are you wearing? This Tennessee special election is a reason why you need to vote, even if you think it's impossible. Matt Van Epps just barely won in a very, very, very red district. This same election in 2024, we would have needed a little bit more than all of the Democrats who stayed home to come to the polls to flip it. In other words, it was next to impossible to flip that seat during a presidential cycle. But this was a special election, and it's much, much different. Because it was a special election, only about 36% of the eligible voter population actually came to the polls. And because of that very low voter turnout, we could have had more Democratic voters come in and flip the seat. But how many would we have to have? Well, I did the math. The race was very, very close. It was about 45% versus 53.9%. There were about 180,000 votes total for this entire election. To put it in perspective, there were fewer total votes during this special election than there were just for the Republican candidate last time. So out of all of the Democratic-leaning voters, how many of them who stayed home would have had to come to the polls to flip this seat? Well, doing the math, only 11%. 11%, which means yes, just a little bit more than 1 out of every 10 Democratic voters who decided to stay home. If only 1 of them came to the polls, we would have another Democratic seat in.
So, fucking vote in off year elections. Like that's what it comes down to. And like, if you had shown up like you did, you went out and voted for the presidential election, that means that Matt Van Epstein list would not have been elected, and we would have had another seat in the fucking, like that's, and I can't go vote in Virginia or like I can't go, but we can, and we have to think of this as every election is a national fucking emergency. And like I've made it a point to like highlight smaller races and like seats up for grabs, because it is a collective thing that we must be focusing on from here on out. We almost fucking did that in a district that had no business being that close. And it was that close. It was so fucking close. And if we get the message, we can just flip every fucking seat. You can do that. It's absolutely possible. There's no fucking reason why that can't happen. As like evidence here, 1 out of every 10 people that stayed home, that voted in the election, could have just showed up, and they didn't, and we didn't, but we have to now, I guess is what I'm. To Eli's point, fucking show up, dudes. James,
How do I turn on my camera?
There should be 2. Either GP can invite you, but there's like at the bottom of your screen, you should see a camera button and a microphone. And if you can't, then you just click on your box and you'll see the same buttons. Like
I don't know how to flip it, and it's not letting me see it. This is not going to work.
You have to hit save.
now I feel bad about making fun of
Girl.
idiot Taylor earlier.
I can't figure this out.
All right.
It's okay. I was
what
going to
were
show
you
you
gonna
guys
say?
me playing fetch with Salem, but
They
with
changed
a Q-tip.
Oh wow. They changed the layout just now, so it really, which sucks. James, what were you going to say?
So 2 things. First thing, Miami's mayor just went Democrat. So huge, wonderful news.
Yep.
I can't wait till the data comes out so I can look at it. Second,
Nerd.
yeah, I am. I listen to the Supreme Court oral arguments as they go on. It's like a television show, but by ear. It's like listening to a fireside chat. Anyway, Jasmine Crockett running is absolutely amazing. And I'm going to say something that is going to piss a lot of people off. A lot of people. And I want you to hear me from the fullness of my spirit say this. I'm not doing emotional extortion in 2026. Just because you call someone a Zionist does not make them a Zionist. And I don't want to hear the shit. You did it when Kamala ran. You told people not to go and vote. You fucked us all. We are now dealing with the ramifications of that decision making. And it has caused more material harm to every single set of people in this country. And if your only thought is, with all due respect, Gaza, that you're confused about what's happening in the world. You're confused about what's going on in Sudan. And as someone with
And Gaza. I'm so sorry, but you're confused about that too.
Yeah. As a person with a Sudanese parent, like, I'm not going to be emotionally extorted by fucking wankers in their basement with a jar of petroleum jelly. I want you all to grow up. Grow up. There are two people. There's going to be a primary. If it's Tallarico or if it's Crockett, you should support them because it's the smart thing to do. But some of you all have your head so far up your behind and are the morality police that you come on this internet and try to lecture people on who they should vote for from a place of privilege. And I'm going to invite you to look in the mirror because the most of you that were saying it all look the same way. So just think about that for a second as you continue to police black women and how they use their voices in this world because it's sickening and you disgust me.
Clocked.
I think it's important to note too that like you cannot like how they speak on those issues, but understanding like who is going to be amenable to, protesting or suggestions. Like there was only one person in that race that was going to listen and understand how everybody was feeling.
Forward. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just going to get fucking mad. You're 100% right. I made that point at the time, too. I was like, why are they protesting one of them? I wonder.
They still protesting at her book tour because they're weirdos.
I know.
Because
it's a fundamentally principled position they're taking, which is why I see like it is. I understand. I do. It is, but at the same time, I think the rest of us can like look up and see the rest of what the knock-on effects of these sort of things. And like, yeah, I'm with you. Sorry to interrupt you, but
no, you're good. I think as we move forward, like the party has to accept different viewpoints, and I'm absolutely open to that. What I'm not open to as a person of color in this world is letting, and I'm going to say it, white leftists on the internet police the way I use my voice and body. I'm just, it's never going to happen. And it is the same exhausting group of people that make money from this app saying, oh my God, can you believe, well, you're supporting it. You're using the internet. You're using a cell phone born of a G-side in the Congo. Why don't you write letters?
To this point, I try not to like, if there's any sort of like divide, I try not to like, and it against my own sort of like nature, I don't do this. But I think I was mentioning earlier that I'd ran into somebody who was one of these people who's like, why are you protesting? You're just, like participants in the whatever. And it's all performative, blah, blah. And like, I saw this person in Washington, he introduced himself and I was just like, I was uncharacteristically cold purposefully. I was like, cool, man. Good to see you. Like I was not, and I'm normally as nice as I possibly can because I like making people like me, and it's a character flaw. But like this is a long walk. I'm sorry, but this guy made a video recently about like how important it was for us to have voted for Kamala despite our like disagreements, and I saved it, and then I went immediately to fucking August of 2024 and just started looking. And I found 6 or 7 videos about how important it was to not vote for this person. And I have these 2 videos now in my camera roll. This is not a small creator. He's not a large creator, but not a small creator. And I just have these 2 videos just next to each other. And I desperately want to just make this. And I have been trying to reconcile whether or not I'm going to, because like I, like you, James, this fills me with white hot rage, because what the fuck do you mean it's important that we support our candidates now? What do you mean now? And so like, that burns me up in a big way. It was a lot to say that like I'm fully in agreement with you, and I have been, I feel like pretty vocal about that. I think to like my own detriment on the internet, but you know.
I think the big thing for me in this moment is, and this is going to be from a place of vulnerability. Like as a black person in this country, I wonder what people want. Like in the one instance where we said, "Hey, we can push her left," gosh, the name eludes me, and it's just because it's been a long day. But you got to know, even if you disagree with her politics, you got to pick who you want to fight with, because you're going to fight with both of them. Now, the material conditions for every single group of people that you claim to be fighting for are worse. Period. The end. They are worse. And you made, not you, but the general, they made a choice to put people in that position. And Kamala Harris showed a lot more grace than I would with Mamdani, because I would have said, fuck no. That motherfucker literally said all kinds of shit about me. But instead, she took the high road, which is why I always come back to the same point. Michelle Obama, I love everything she says, except for that when they go high, when they go low, we go high. Fuck that. When they go low, I'm digging a tunnel to hell and playing spades with the devil.
I agree with you. I think, yeah.
Hey, wait, James, what did, I must have missed this, and I can look it up on my own too, but you said Mamdani said something, what did he say, something about Jasmine?
No, about Harris. Sorry.
About Harris?
Okay. Harris. Yeah, and Harris endorsed him. Like, she was gracious. I think.
Yeah, she was, yeah.
I think she's been gracious with a lot of people that she doesn't owe grace to. I think, once again, there's an expectation that you can treat a black woman poorly and then still expect for her to give you her labor. It's like the people protesting at her book tour. You got what you wanted. I'm not in the White House.
Why are you protesting this? Yeah.
What do you want?
What are you here for?
Right. You bought a ticket?
Yeah.
If I'm such a Zionist, why'd you buy a ticket to come here to scream and yell? Aren't I going to just send the money to the country you say I'm supporting now? It just doesn't make sense.
I do want to, before it leaves my my tiny goldfish brain, I wish, James, sometimes I need to just reach out to you to ghostwrite my TikToks, because there's been so many instances where you have been able to articulate perfectly what needs to be said without choose who you want to fight with is such a brilliant reframing of what we were fucking slamming our heads against the wall about for months. That is exactly what I wanted to say. And we were just dancing around saying that same thing, but differently. And that is a perfect way of reframing that, as opposed to harm reduction. That it is still it's a concept that people are can understand and get behind, but it's different. It's a different feeling. So,
I mean, and Angela Davis said that. I mean, that thought is derived from Angela Davis saying you need to know. But keep in mind that these were people saying that Angela Davis didn't know what she was talking about. Yes, I'm going to listen to the person with the mohawk.
Right.
That's 22, white, and no, I'm going to listen to Angela Davis. Yeah, no, and I'm like, how about taking a backseat and listening to the people that have actually done this work, that have fought the fight? Do you think that people liked Lyndon B. Johnson, who said the N-word profusely?
Right.
But we live in an era where people will colonize the suffering of other people, because that's what happened. They colonized the suffering of people in Gaza. When they did interviews in Gaza and asked the people in Gaza who they wanted, they said, our situation will probably be similar, but we want Harris. There was a whole article done about it. And you had people on TikTok that have probably never cracked the spine of a book, that have never read anything, have never contributed anything, that are TikTok activists making money. And look, here's the thing. I got to the point where I'd say, unless you can show me the receipts that you've donated all the money that you made from making these videos about Gaza, you have colonized the cause of people that are suffering for your own personal benefit, and I will not be emotionally extorted by you. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris, the end. And people struggled with that because it has been commonplace in this country for people to expect black voters to do what they want them to do without thought, and to listen to what they say without condition. I don't know how you colonize suffering, but you have to be a very despicable human being to do it.
Like, really, truly, pick a different struggle. Like, of all the struggles that
Pick your own. You don't have a struggle, so pick one.
like
Pick
you don't,
somebody else's.
Yeah, but like, also keep in mind, to like James's point, there's also like a ton of literally paid for bots on the internet. Like, quite literally, people that are not even just like the purity like leftist culture, but there's genuinely people that are not even in America that are.
The good news is, Eli, the good news is that it's not just going to be bots anymore. It's going to be indistinguishable, created human beings saying this shit.
Yeah.
From the places that that need it. So everything's going to be so much easier now. It's going to be great. And the people that are in charge of sort of regulating that shit are profiting from it. So
yes, it's great news.
we're so back, baby.
We're so bad.
We're so back, dude. I cannot wait for the deep fakes of me on Pornhub. Like, I cannot wait, dude.
Oh, me too. Me too. Mine's gonna be the most, like, actually, of the two of us, mine will be searched more just because I'm trans. You know,
That's true. That's hurtful but true.
everybody wants to see what's in my pants. You know what I mean? Like, it's quite literally an obsession.
T minus 2 seconds till this gets taken out. Friends, I've got to go. I have to go to sleep. I'm fucking passing out here, but it's been just a joy. Thanks for you guys for hanging out. And James, thanks for coming up here.
Yeah, thanks for having me up.
Thanks for having me up. I'm glad that I could come and be a distraction to your conversation.
Come on. There were a few instances tonight where I like tried to bring other people up and it didn't work. Like Chris Mowry and Jolly Good Ginger, and like I'd hit their name and they would disappear, and then I hit your name and it was fine. So I'm just assuming that they said, no, never mind, I don't want to talk to you. So
It is because I work for Palantir.
nice. This is how we found out. Yeah.
Now the live's going down.
This
No,
makes
actually,
a
now
lot
your
more
live is
sense.
gonna get pushed out like crazy now.
Protected. All right. Nice.
right.
Get at
Good chatting
Marissa.
with you.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Dave,
Sorry, I was eating a sandwich.
good
It was
update.
good. It was good. Thanks for
Great update. Thank you guys. All right, get out of here, you nerds. They've readjusted all of these. Oh God, not now. No. Thanks to Eli. Thanks to Marissa. Sorry to 40 other people that were sitting here waiting to get in. Things were malfunctioning. Pretty good. I'd say pretty good. Frustrating, as always. Talking to phobes of any nature. I think there's more cons than are pros. In retrospect, and there's very rarely, but most upsetting thing tonight is finding out that she is a recipient of pretty high level education, and in spite of that remains unteachable, and I find that frustrating. that level of like sort of allergy to thought usually comes from somebody who is less educated. And that sucks. Just a grifter grifting. She's just waiting on her come up, dude. All those people are just one viral video away from a Turning Point talking slot at whatever the fuck. Did I tell you somebody invited me? Hold on. Somebody invited me. Let me find it. Requests general. It's like AmFest. I had to go look up what fucking AmFest was. Where is this? Oh, God. I posted the story, so all my messengers are out of whack. Yeah, hold on. AmFest. Turning Point USA reached out and we're like, we need an opponent for AmFest. For this guy. At our fucking thing. And I said, my DM to them was this. My appearance fee is $40,000. For you, it's $60,000. And they said, we'll get back to you. And I said, looking forward to it. So, if they come back and they're like, okay, 60 grand. My appearance fee is not $40,000. No. Are you out of your mind? No. $60,000. Somebody is saying $40K to appear and you're calling other people grifters. That's not true. I don't have. First of all, if someone was like, come talk on this panel, you get paid for your time. If you want to be up, like have me appear somewhere, that goes for anybody. That goes for the fucking mechanic down the street, and they're like, hey, will you teach a class? The guy's not going to show up for free. There's a certain level of like notoriety. There are algorithms for this. My point is this. No, I've never received any money for a panel. No one's asked me. Okay. But so like for a situation with that I have absolutely no interest in doing, to appear in front of a incredibly hostile crowd at a Turning Point USA place, I'm saying I'm going to give them a number that is cost prohibitive to them. And then especially I'm going to take it and I'm going to add fucking 40%. And if they come back and say 60 grand, at that point I have to do some thinking. At that point I say, okay, is this worth it? And then likely I'm just going to say, sorry, my rate went up. Sorry, it's actually 100 grand now. Or I take 60 grand, I go up there, and I just sing We Are Charlie Kirk. I get a voice coach. I pay $2 grand for voice coach. We are Charlie Kirk. And I just do that into the microphone until they kick me off. And I say, thanks. Money, please. Empathy shirt. All of that to say, somebody did ask me to come be a guest, an enemy combatant on that fucking thing. Cash up front, yeah. What do you want to debate? What do you want to debate, dude? Other people's humanity? Sick. Sick, dude. No, I have no fucking interest in doing that. I have negative interest in doing that. do have interest in paying my rent, though. I do love paying my rent. It's one of my favorite things. It's just not worrying about it and just being able to pay my rent. I say this to people. I say this to a room full of people who are also understand what a beautiful luxury that is. Oh God. I am going to bed. Sorry. I like to wind down. This is not news to you, Marissa, okay? It's bedtime. It's hitting me slower and slower as I fade. Good night, nerds. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. That's it. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Love you, mean it. Bye.
Allah.
Allah yardımcın olsun. Hiç iyi